What's up, everybody? Nick Blasier back here, ready to resume our match between Grant Schneider and John O'Hagan. After a nice dinner break, we had some good, I think it was Turkish food, Mediterranean food. Some, what did I have? Mixed grill with lamb kebab and things like that. But yeah, let's get back into the action without further ado. Figured we'd skip the intros and just get going to it. We got both players at the board ready to go. So we're going to switch over there, and they should be ready to roll the dice, as Michi would say. Playing a pretty sharp match so far, the two of them. I might have missed some of the transcription, so maybe I've got some wrong, but we'll see. All right, and reminding myself, Grant is ahead 6 away, 7 away. Opens with the 6-3 split. 6-3 gets the hit in the outfield. Grant, we saw win the last match against Rory on stream after this disaster double aces, and John O'Hagan, most of you know, has been one of the best players in the U.S. for a long time. 5-3. Yeah, links his escape checker up and makes the 10-point. Looks pretty nice. Simple stuff for John with a small racing lead, and we'll see what Grant can come up with to contain that back checker. Probably just coming around to the 9 here. Double fives. That's going to improve on the racing lead, but can't escape the back checker. So, interesting. He can make the 5 and the 1. Okay. Yeah, I would have thought maybe we want to do something from the midpoint here. Clearing the 10, it's kind of nice to have that for his landing point too. I would have been more confused by that, but he just instantly makes the board. I guess to protect him from being attacked on the back checkers. That makes some sense. 5-4 makes the 4-point. Very close option is to make the 9 as well, it looks like. 4-1 just gets the checker moving. John doesn't want to step up the ace because it doesn't really help him escape and puts him under pressure on the 23. Michi taught us that's not the place the single back checker wants to be. Prefer to step up with a 2 maybe to see more light, but just looking to run with some sort of 6 eventually. 6-1 can't hop over the 8 points. I'm not sure this is the one. Maybe though, since it's not so great to play to the deuce either. Yeah, why not? Look at this, and it actually is a little bit better to challenge the 8-point in this tactical situation since our opponent has so many good rolls that would use a 3 or an ace to make the bar point or the 5-point, something like this, that would leave a shot on the 8-point. So challenging the strip mid is worth something. Welcome back, the few that we got so far. Who's with me so far? Yeah, when our opponent, I guess this doesn't really interact with the back checker. Just making a 9-point is a nice blocking point here, though. Solid improvement to the structure. And 2-6. Can't run now that he's stepped up. Frustrating. So he's just going to move a checker off the midpoint and get ready to clear that way. Seems prudent. And a 4-2. Can't do much. I think the next thing to go is going to be the 13-point. Create some nice builders for the bar, the 5-point to contain that back checker. And double threes could step up once, but it can't get much further than that. Is that the place to be? Would we like to provoke being attacked on the 5-point right now? I guess if he's going to make it, it's bad either way. We can make a 4-point board as well when we do it. I don't know. I think we just don't have space to do anything else. So I feel like we have to step up now. Very close, though. Yeah. Nice find by John. And we'll see what the follow-up looks like for Grant. Feels like he has some market loss when he attacks, I guess. But still, I mean, down in the race, can't really be favorite with the weaker board as well. And this 6-2 probably has to hit to try to win this. It's scary against a 4-point board, but he has an anchor, and he can't just let his opponent, have tempo to escape to the outfield and win that way. It's just too easy. And now John, the one with the real cube decision here, but I think against the bar point, not really doing that much work here. Manages to fan, misses a cube along the way too. 7 away, 6 away. It's just a very last rolly kind of position. When he hits, it could be over, and when he doesn't, he's in trouble, I guess. So last chance. Ace is going to cover, and then what can the deuce do? Maybe slot the bar is fine here. And now Grant creeping up on a cube pretty quickly as he fills in very pure priming structure. Four is going to fan once more. It's still down 14 pips in the race. Is this enough now? I think so with your opponent on the roof, the single checker back. It looks like there can be a lot of closeouts and some gammon threats, and actually John should just let this one go. What's up? Stream? Yeah, no, not in here though. You can go watch elsewhere. Oh, okay. Sends it, and John is going to take, or sorry, yeah, a little bit deep there. 2-6, understandable with the racing lead and the nice board. Seems like this should be playable. Kind of surprised to see it pass on this myself, but very difficult to take those single checker back cubes. Double twos is going to enter, not at the edge though, but it gets to make a 5-point board. So it feels like he has a little bit of fight. And I guess this is the issue, is that the threat of making the 5 prime with our opponent not at the edge or even at the edge was just too great. 6-5 can just come around to the 7-point. That looks pretty nice. And 6-5 gets to bring a checker in and slot the 3, I would have thought. Yeah, okay. That's what John's going to go for. Bot doesn't want a blot involved right now, though. 6 is going to have to change to a blitz, I do believe. It can close the 2 and the 1 and leave very few shots from the bar. Hey, welcome back, Alex and Avi. Yeah, I heard John Brown's running awesome. I'm glad to see that, too. Been working with him quite a bit. 3-4 hits back. Okay. John making his tag work. And we'll see if Grant can find a 3 from the bar. No such luck. And this is just instantly too good by a mile. 6-1 is going to close the board. And now he's shooting at 2 more checkers, trying to win a lot of gammons. And at least he doesn't have a ton of time to go for him, but picks up the first. Yeah, wants to stay as far back as possible to give him as many numbers as possible to hit that checker on the 13 as well. 3-2 gets there. He does manage to get them both. I guess both of them let 6s play fine. So it's not clear which one would be stronger to me, but I guess we really like the spare on the 5, so why not? Two, 1. Just gets a little closer to home. And yeah, this one should be probably above 60% gammon, something like that. 77, yeah. All right, 5 is even in the 3 plays of the ace, and he's going to prioritize safety. Assuming he doesn't need to do anything special to win the gammon here. 5-4 could just clear the point, but that's starting to give up a few too many gammons, dropping us all the way from 77 to 71 almost. But yeah, I understand he's already, given the last play, it seems like he's going to prioritize safety. And 2-1 can take 2 off while still staying even and on the outside. So I think he will find that one. 4-2. Fans again. John threatening to jump to 3 away. 5 off and then 2 advances to even out on the outside. Avoid leaving high number shot numbers. 5-4 still can't enter. 6-3 is going to take 2 off from the rear again. 5-2 enters 1. 6-3, 2 off again. And now many numbers. We'll need a ace or a deuce or a set to avoid leaving a shot, at least a 3 for Grant to chase after. And 6-5, one of those shot levers. See if Grant can capitalize on it. Wrong 3. And now there's like some real backgammon chances after that roll. 15%. Double 3s is going to increase that by a lot. Wow, he could be... I doubt he's a favorite to do it, but yeah. So he will be a favorite to get off when John doesn't roll a set, which is still almost half the time that he's going to lose a backgammon here. Backgammon gets to Crawford, doesn't quite win the match. Needs to dodge. 5-2 is just barely going to do it. That was quite the scare. Six away, 3-way. One 3 to open for John. And a 3-5 response with a point of his own for Grant. Grant going to be looking for aggressive cubes up this trailing score, and John going to have a hard time finding any initial cubes. 6-3, slightly ahead in the race. What else are we going to do? At least split, maybe just run. Running looks nice. 4-2 gets to make the rack. And 4-3, okay. So I guess we're coming around the bend, and we can either safety that up with a small lead in the race. We're outboarded, so I think it indicates putting a spare on the 8. Other play would be to play down with it and focus on building. Starting to have small priority towards the ideal game plan, though, here we can see. Avoids the fly shot there. And what can this do? Now that our opponents escaped one, maybe it's a good time to start thinking about splitting, doing something with our back checkers. If we do that, do we want to clean up 11 to 8 or play another down? I guess we don't want our opponent to run in a hit with tempo. Oh, we can go for the minor split and bring the checker in 11 to 5. That's very interesting. And also just running is an option too. Okay. 2-6 would like to run, but now it runs to a triple shot. So what will we do? What else is there? We got to create another blot somewhere, or else do something like 8-6. So actually it's best. Okay, there's a little bit of 4 duplication to cover and things like that. So a little bit extra excuse to go for a slot. And with the racing lead even. 6-1 wants to make the bar point, I do believe. Oh, look at this. He just decides to bring builders down instead. Okay. Surprised how close that is. I would think that we like to block that 6 out, but I guess there's a lot of fly shots too. And maybe... Oh, he can't hit the fly shots when he's slotted like this is a big piece of it. But 6-4 is going to put Grant ahead in the race. It would be 2s and 4s if he ran, but I don't see anything stronger than that, so I think we should just make that sort of distraction play and go for it. Oh, he's going to think about the tempo hit here, though. There's some merit to taking away part of John's role there, but I think we're effectively doing that anyway by threatening to escape or cover the point. So I think enough distraction as it is to just run. Cool, 3080 you back already. Thanks for joining us. Excited for all the main event coverage. Extra excited for finals day tomorrow. I hope you guys will tune in with me all day for that. We're going to have hopefully a really nice recap in the morning for you of all the action that's happened today. Really setting up, you know, the path that's gotten these players to where they are. Uh-oh. Someone bumped the board or the camera, I think. How rude. Oh, the camera probably. Yeah, whatever. Still looks okay. Ends up finding the run. Good play by Grant. Some blunder potential there. 5s is going to recapture the race, but can't attack while it does it. So nice game for both players with this. Makes the point. Plays down. Plays in. Okay. 5-1 gets to cover and come around. And so down in the race and looking to contain that single checker back, and now John the one under the pressure to just be able to run here. 6-2 and 5-3 are the best. 3-4, not so good. I don't think it needs to step up. Can just make another board point. Oh, he should step up, though. Wow. That is surprising. I probably would have made John's mistake there, too. But I guess there's a lot of threats to making the bar point, and they look a lot weaker when you step up to the 4 point. So misses out there. The 9 doesn't look all that valuable, but I don't see what other options we have, really. 3-5 doesn't get to hit anymore. And the 3 feels like it really needs to step up now, huh? Now he sees the pressure. Actually, he sees that he doesn't see as much light as well when he steps up to the 21. Interesting dilemma, but you can't be ahead in the race and kind of camping back like this too long. So sometimes when you provoke the contact this way, well, at least when you're hit, you buy yourself a little bit of timing to not like lose your midpoint in your structure or something like that along the way too. Could be exactly what you need to get this position home. 15 pip deficit for Grant and a weaker board. I don't think he can have any sort of cube decision here, but trailing 6 away, 3 away is a fine time to stop and think about it. He is a small favorite, but not a whole lot of gammons look to be at threat either with limited progress he's made in making his board and how much farther along John is. Made a little time for me to go grab my thermos of coffee. 3-1, so, oh man, with our opponent threatening to leave, I feel like we really need to hit, but he's got a better board, so it's really scary. How do we do it? Can we afford to just play 13-9? No, because our opponent can just roll a 6, yeah, so I would probably find this too, but it's interesting that XG wants to play even bigger and bring the cover down as well. And, okay, on the miss, now I think a cube can be coming. I think down 7 pips in the race, your opponent might dance one more time, and you might lose your market by a mile. And, in fact, he already has lost his market. Very interesting, but misses that cube. And so now the ace is going to cover. What's the 6 going to do? We don't really want the 9 anymore. So we can break that to turn it into builders. I like that play. Leaves too many fly shots to come down, especially not having sent the cube yet. So maybe we're in some territory of like technically too good here. But he's going to reach over, get a double in. I think John's going to find an even pass on the bar in an even race against a 4-point board. And he lets it go. That's going to be 5 away, 3 away. One step in the right direction for Grant. Four, 3 to open for John, and he's a splitter potentially at the score. I like that. 6-4 in response, probably just points, but it could do all kinds of things. Running past seems reasonable. Hitting loose on the 4 seems reasonable. And they're all very close. I must say I'm like used to playing against the 2 down play, so I'm not as certain what the right play would be here. Second roll that I could potentially get off or get wrong there. I think I would have made the point though. 3-1 is going to hit the slot. Nice shot for John. And double 3s cannot point on head or hit anything really. I think we got to unstack something after entering, but he wants to make the anchor instead right away. Interesting. I feel like the 10 or the 5 must be sort of mandatory here. But very close. Okay. Finds a reasonable alternative. Still down in the race here. Double 3s, gets to point on head and hit in the outfield. Okay. Very nice shot for John. And though John does have to be more conservative at the cube, if he can get the right blend of wins and gammons here, he can still send it at 3 away, 5 away. We'll want to be well into the territory of passing at normal scores to do that. So maybe this would be close to a cube for normal scores, but probably not going to be here. And a 2-1, I'm not sure how to follow up on this. I guess we're ahead in the race now, so we can just clean up. There's no need to spend our last spare everywhere and create so many blots to continue the attack. Three, two. We usually don't want to make the two anchors together like this. Maybe this is an exception because what else are we going to do? But I would have been tempted to play something like 2018 and then come down with the 3. But he finds the best play. I probably would have gotten tricked from seeing stuff like that a little too often. Double 3s. Can't really make too many relevant points. Steps up once and makes a blocking or landing point in the 10. Okay. Seems reasonable. 39 pip lead for John. Just wants to escape. 5-4 is just going to hit. Okay. Has an anchor. Why not? He's outboarded, so it's a little bit not indicated that way, but 3 comes in, enters high, and then the 2 redistributes the spare to the 6 like he wishes. 2-6 can cover, and then the 6, I guess, can just continue slotting. Why not? What else do we have? Everything else is kind of tied up in a point right now, so being down this much in the race with a double anchor, it's time to just put the checkers where they want to be. 1-3 could bring something in from the 10 or play deep like that. Maybe bringing in from the 10 is a little bit better here. Not sure why we want to spend a blot down to the deuce. Nice find by John. 5-3 should be able to cover and probably hit as well and give up the 8. No need to just volunteer direct ace without any upside from the midpoint, I guess. That was the first place I was looking, though. 5-3 should cover the 5 from the mid. And 2-1's going to hit back. Nice response for John. And so this seems like, now I feel like this is the kind of game where Grant's likely to find a cube with the rack, threatening to close the checker out. Stiff position like this. Probably going to try to hit loose again. Can't just let our opponent hop out and escape to a winning race. Don't let him have the simple game that he's looking for. 45 people back with us. Thank you. Everyone on site is so excited about the videos and the stream and everything like that. I hope you guys are really enjoying it too. Aces is going to enter, and then if we hit, the last one doesn't look so good, so maybe we just switch to the deuce. Okay. Okay. We've got enough checkers back already. Nice find there. And 5-3 gets to enter and cover. Beautiful shot for Grant. John just looking to hop out to safety. 5-2, I guess. Yeah, where else can we spend the 5? Okay, I'm just going to run. Double aces again. Wow, he really doesn't have room for this in his position. So I guess he's going to switch 4-2. Keeps the purest points. Double 3s gets to link up and play down and get ready to clear safely. Nice shot for John. And with no gammons present, then he can start cubing this position kind of like money again. And it looks likely to be very similar to just a race. Doesn't appear to have too much contact challenge. I guess 2s, 4s, and 6s from the back. There's decent contact, but yeah, really not sure it's enough to play this one out. I do expect to get a cube here from John, but we'll see. Maybe I'm off here. Yeah, and we have a tiny little take there on being able to ignore the gammons. But John going to roll through it, sticking to his apparent strategy. Evens the distribution out and just breaks the 2. I like that. We're just not playing for contact at all. So we're just going to try to get ready to clear his sets and not worry about any of our board points. It's actually probably better for the race to play 2-1 too. 3-2 is just trying to get our board prepared. Quite surprising to me that this could be enough to swing the cube decision, but it looks like XG thinks it's a double and pass now. But John gonna sail by it, play conservative at 4-way, 3-way, totally understandable. Plays a checker in from the rear as well. I like that decision. 6-1 gets to make the bar point, and okay, can just I don't know what XG is trying to do there. 4-1 comes in and plays to the ace again. Okay. Yeah, 8-4 made a little more sense to me there. 4-2. Gets prepared to make the 4 point. Yeah, so it's trying to do that in very creative ways. Interesting. Slot both the points we want. And as John cleared enough contact now, he's ready to clear the points. So there must be more market losers. Maybe that's going to be enough to swing it to him. And he's lost his market by a long shot, by the way. But maybe perceived market losers are higher from here. Here come the cube, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see Grant take something like that. He's been on the deep side of the take pass and has a double anchor game and is trailing in the score. He has a lot of reasons to convince him to try it here, but these games tend to be much worse than they look. The contact, not so strong. Actually a pretty big liability to have that open 4-point, likely to fill it, but won't necessarily. Just doesn't have enough to play for here. Maybe John was underestimating the impurity of his structure as well. But good. Grant correctly finds the pass here. Strong stuff from him. And that's going to be 5-way, 2-way. 1-2 to open for John. We start to prefer splitting up these leading scores. Nice shot. Double fours gets to come up and down, I think. Maybe at a trailing score, we want to go for the attack instead. Wow, and it's actually sizably important to do that. We'll see if he figures that out at the 5-way, 2-way scoreline. Gammons are one way pretty much, since we're so likely to send a cube when it works. We can treat him like that basically, and he finds that. Very nice. Yeah, when the game plans are kind of close, then we can start to deviate quite a bit at the scores. 4-6 fans, and at a 2-way scoreline, we have to send this. Huge, potent blitzing cube, and yeah, look at this. I guess at normal scores, I would double this as well. Would I? Feels close, but if you can, then a lot of times at these 2-way scores, it's good enough to pass. He's going to wait, though, unfortunately. Misses that opportunity. 6-2 probably wants material in the zone and splitting, a little bit of both. So the 2 interacts nicely for building the 5-point. Looks like a strong play. Can capitalize on the racing advantage, too. But he goes all in for the blitz instead. Understandable. Lots of times when we are with that game plan, we do focus that way. Ace-5 is going to make the 24-point for John and eliminate that game plan, but he's still in a lot of trouble here. Probably still under enough pressure to get cubed against 10 in the zone with a whole bunch of priming threat. Going to have a very difficult time escaping that 24-point. 5-2. Doesn't look like we can get that checker on the bar point to safety with any sort of purity here. So, yeah, maybe just slotting the 5 with it looks pretty good. I like this. The 8 just, I guess cleans up a blot. We don't really want it that much once we have the deuce, but also brings the checker into the zone. 5-3 is going to make the 3 points. And how are we doing on the cube now? Still big ones that we're cruising through, but if you didn't find the last ones, I don't think this one looks any more attractive. 3 is going to cover, and the 2... No options from the back checkers. Don't want to break the mid, so we'll just step the builder up and get ready to make the 3 points. 5-6 can run one of the checkers all the way. And now John runs away to a 10-pip deficit with a single checker back outboarded. I mean, this should be like a clear money pass. Well, not with 2 checkers back on the 24. Sorry. Changed my mind about that. Where is it? Yeah, it's probably still like... reasonable take for money, but at this kind of score, the Gammon's on top. The threat of attacking here is just huge. And he's going to turn this into a monster pass. Here it comes. Pretty sure John's going to have an easy time letting this one go. Looks scary for money, so at a two-way score, can't imagine playing it. Oh, he's going to take it. Wow, look at this. I wonder what he sees in this position. I'll have to ask him about this one. But yeah, down in the race. I guess he's still back on the 24 point. Just seems like a lot of work to do. So maybe I'm overestimating that part. You know, I can kind of see the logic there. But I was thinking that like the attacking threat just looked like a lot, you know, like when you're never safe back on the 24 point. As everything makes progress, you're just under the gun more and more. We have a play like this where we're probably forced to double hit because it's like the safest thing to do. Maybe he's going to make the 11 and the 3 as a score-based play. But if we double hit, you know, as soon as we get hit with an ace, well, we're on the ropes for a gammon. So I guess his plan was to just play quiet and try to give these back checkers some trouble escaping. Five, 3 could anchor, could hit loose, things like this. Yeah, I kind of like Friesen his motion. Understand that idea to try to win the gammon outright, but I guess a faster path is to just make the board point, see if he can run with a 6. But he gets a fan out of John, 4s and 7s to cover. There's a 7. Oh, this one can make the 3 point again. This time I might make the ace. Wins more gammons to stay pure, though, even if you get recirculated. That's very interesting. Makes sense. Interesting find there by Grant after hitting loose on the ace to play before. Gets a fan. We'll see if he can get a 12 to cover. No such luck, but the 6 can come down at least. And maybe I would come from the back with a 5. I don't know. But I guess this creates more covers this way too. Some 7s when the 6 misses. 6-4 can't hit. Can't enter. 3-2 does not cover. Maybe it's worth having an anchor, or is it better to go for flexibility? I don't know, but the 8 to 6 seems like more covers, so I like that part. Yeah, 21 to 18, a little stronger there. No need to have an anchor here. And 5-3 gets to cover and split. Six, 4, just trying to make sure we don't get stuck behind the structure here. And looking awful likely that Grant is going to find a gammon out of this to take him to Crawford against John's 2 away on this sizable cube mistake. Very interesting. 2s can play 1 down and come in with 2. Okay. Oh, Edward mentions that the 2A, 5A take point is a little lower. Yeah. Not as relevant when there's gammons there. Gammon price is still high as well. All right, maybe he's going to look at clearing and giving up a bunch of gammons too. We saw John kind of have this side of the coin recently too. Looks awkward to take a checker off and put it on the ace, but really just preventing your opponent from entering helps win a gammon so much against the single checker back. 21 pips outside, and 10 is 31, and 6 is 37. Yeah, that should be very high up there with gammon estimate formulas. So I can imagine how he would think to play safe, and that he didn't have to play aggressively to win it. But he does find the peel play. Nice job, Grant. And is rewarded with 5 checkers on the ace afterward. 4s can't enter. Gammon looking extremely likely. 6-4 is going to put a 6 checker on the ace point. But keeps him even and safe from leaving shots for the next roll anyway. And now John enters. Takes the crossover. 6-2 gets to take 2 off now. And yeah, virtual lock on it all the way up to 96%. 5s should chip away at it a little bit, down to 82. 2 in and 1 around. Okay. That was a lot of important gammon saving pips. 2 off for Grant. 4-1. You can get 2 crossovers with it, so not too bad. Not what he was hoping for, though. And 5-4, 2 off again. 5-1. Does this have a way to... I guess we can play the 1 down. He's just going to play it straight in, though. Okay. Could have found 2 crossovers by wasting some pips with the 5. Probably worth it. Now we're left with 6 crossovers. 4-2 is going to take 2 crossovers somehow. And looks like a small miracle required to save the gammon. No, it's impossible. Why does it say 99.9? Weird. 4-3. And resigns the gammon. And there we are at Crawford game. And this is 2 away. So if John wins a gammon, he can win the match on this game. Otherwise, they'll move on to DMP if he just wins a single. So he's going to... It's almost like... It is pure gammon go. So John can make very aggressive plays, looking for gammons that are worth as much as a win for him. And his opponent gets no value from their gammons. 5-3 gets the hit in the outfield, sending checkers back. Pretty good for the gammon fight. 5-4 gets the anchor up. Super. I mean, it could hit 2, but I think it's just too important to have the anchor at a gammon save score. And 5-2 gets to come around and make the 11 point. Racing lead should be, you know, on the path to victory for John. Has a nice favorable game plan. 3-6 is going to have to leave a shot. What's the best way to do that? Maybe being down in the race. Do we want to be back on the 23 or not? Yeah, this slot makes a lot of sense to me. Interesting that it's better to slot the bar and let our opponent hit with the 6. But okay, 6-5 is going to escape to freedom. Four gets the cover. Ace gets the slot in the next point. And Grant in a hurry to make his board to get ready for any shots that John might leave on the way home. This is a 30 pip lead now. And John at 2-way is, I guess, going to think about pointing on head to see if he can win more gammons here. Looks very natural otherwise to play 2 down and make the bar or something like this. And we'd probably be happy to do something like that and just claim very quickly. But here we've got to at least think about putting our opponent on the roof, maybe making the 4 with it or something like that. A little bit too big, but it does win the most gammon, so not enough with the anchor, I guess. But 13-9. Okay. If we're going to make the 2, we really need to make the bar point. That's interesting. I don't know why that is exactly. Unstacking looks strong regardless, so I understand why he's starting with these 2 4s. Just doesn't look right, so he's going to start over and look at the best play after all. All right, and decides on the blitzy play instead. I guess the checkers on the 11 aren't really in range of attacking, so he wants him in the action if he's going to go for a play like this. 6-3 can make another board point. Interesting that it should. I'm not sure what it's trying to do there instead. Coming down to slot. Ace-3 gets to enter and cover. Nice entry from Grant. And what does John get to do with this roll? Just clean up the blots and try to win a race now. The attack has not exactly worked out, and it's looking a little stiff to get home safely. 2s can probably just make another board point. Six, 4. This is interesting. It looks like it has to leave a shot somewhere. Could make the bar point, but it leaves a 6 and an ace against a 4-point board, so that seems a little rich. It could hit on the ace from the 11. Then only leaves aces and have some upside of gammons. That feels, I can't find a spot of stronger play. 8-4, 8-2. Interesting to see that on top. It feels like Dilly's 2 builders anyway, while leaving a shot. I'm not sure what the gain from that is. Maybe it's a lot of pressure on the ace point, which makes it likely to have to leave anyway. And, oh, we do leave the additional 4-6 and 5-6 when we hit from the ace, so that could be a problem with it. Maybe it is just left shots after all. I would have a hard time passing this up as well. And 2-6 fans, okay. So now some real gammon threat. Needs to start by covering with a deuce or a 7. Can't do so. What is the 6-3 going to do? It just has to play in safely. Yeah, everything else leaves like crazy direct shots, so okay. And ace-3 is going to hit. Doesn't let him get away with it twice. Ace in, I don't think it's in a big rush to step up. I think he wants to focus on containing the checker, so I think 13-10 with it seems strong. Three-two gets to enter and redistribute spares. Also looks nice to play 2-1 and get that checker working, but I guess since we're probably dealing with a lot of shots now, tactically it's nice to not have blots around. And the 3s, I think this is one of these funky spots where it makes a lot of sense to switch off the 6 just to take half a roll away. And then the rest of it, maybe I would be playing down to the bar, but that seems like a lot of shots and a little front loaded. So I like XG's idea of just popping out to the 15 with it. Covers the outfield well when John enters with a 6 and tries to run. Nice find by Grant there. It's a tricky play. 1-6 doesn't appear to be able to hit anywhere, so it's going to enter high and start a point with one of those dillied builders. 2-1 is going to hit loose, I'm pretty sure. It could hit and lift. Maybe that's good enough to win the game here. Maybe we don't have to leave it slotted. 3-2 fans, just looking to buy time to come around the board here. And doesn't want to lose a gammon in the process. So 3-2, I think, just going to come around to the 10 point. He could link up with the 15, though. I guess that's what he's going to pause to think about it if it's time. But he's still down 20 pips. So I think he wants to stay back with the contact until he closes out or something like this or gets enough fans to be ahead. 3-2, fans again. 4-1 can make the 9 point, I think. 13-8 as a builder is a little better. Very strange. Okay, sure. Covers the outfield better. I would have thought I just don't want to leave fly shots as well. So 3-2 looks like we're still down 10 pips. So I still don't want to come off my anchor yet. So I think just bringing the midpoint down as builders looks pretty nice, but strange position we're in here, and a lot of things can be very confusing about it. 6-4 and 6-5 from the roof. 6-6 pretty strong as well. Looks like it's going to, it can make the ace, or it could just make the bar point and prepare to be done with this. And pretty massively winning race. So happy to try to clear contact. And that would leave Grant looking for an 8. 4-4, 5-3, 6-2. Definitely going to hop out to safety and not be attacked. And does he want to cover the ace from the mid and have to deal with clearing the mid later, or just go for it now and only leave 8s? Creating a landing spot in the process. Hi, Candace. You were just here. How'd you get to LA so quick? Chooses to cover the ace instead. And yeah, I guess the long-term liability of the midpoint is just pretty big here. Grant is going to find a 5-1. So now that there's no contact in the moment, I think we want to slot the 6 point, work on making it, and we can spread out for covers as well. So 5-2 now. Now he's ready to volunteer from the mid. Okay. With a blot and board, I guess is a nicer time to do it. 5-4 just barely misses. 4 covering, 5 coming in somewhere to work on making the ace. Sure. 21 pip lead for John, just looking to get to safety here. 5-3 will work. Comes down to the 8, and the 6-3 will play behind. And what is this? 6-4. A little fast, but we can play it in the front still. 2 dead checkers behind. He should be okay to run when he needs to as well. 5-2 is going to start to clear the rearmost point. And a 6 would be forced out. Aces can hold. Can't run anyway. Just going to stack up the ace point. And no shot with this 5-3, but things are getting pretty stiff. Next one's going to be a lot worse. And 4-3 is going to be forced to run. We can't crack our board. See if John can take advantage of the pick and passes with 3s, something like this. Pretty low on the clock, too. I think I saw John Brown in the background there. I got to talk to him about his run here. Make sure he's still winning. I think that's John in the background. Maybe it's someone else. I can't tell. Five, 3 gets to play one behind and take a checker off. And last chance for contact here, pretty much. Looking for 6-1, 5-1, 4-1. Double 3s is going to clear safely. Oh, is he going to maybe peel and try to win a gammon here, huh? Interesting. I guess it's so likely that our opponent has to leave anyway that it must be okay, but the gammon chance is so remote. It's hard to gain much on it. And all right, likely to cruise on to a DMP game for this match. One away, one away. Or maybe Grant will just roll enough 2-1s to lose a gammon somehow. 2 sets away for John. 2-1s will do it. 4-3 is going to save it. He can resign the single now. I think it's impossible to win as well. And yep, there he goes. On we go. Last game of the match for sure. It's been a good one. Both players playing pretty sharp, if I recall. Summary has him at, yeah, I guess that deep take was, I guess other than that, I think John's really going to regret that one. That's the one that took him to Crawford. Let's see if we can hang on to the match anyway. Again, I really think that just the fact that he was back on the 24 led him to believe that he had enough counterplay to take it, but was really strongly outboarded with a pretty weak single checker back game. Very unlikely that he was going to get to mess with that at all. 6-4 gets to hit in the outfield. Nice shot for Grant. 5-2 is going to enter high and hit. Ooh, 3s is a knockout shot. Enters, makes the 5 point, and probably steps up to try to get those back checkers moving. But bringing it down to focus on the closeout seems pretty okay, too. He's on offense for sure, so it can't hurt to focus. His opponent makes the 4 point, though, and now that checker on the 10's a little bit stranded. And what else is it going to do? All 3 down to make the 9 point. That's interesting. Looks a little disconnected. Maybe I would have tried to make the 4 or something, but nice find by John there. Feels strange to give up the whole outfield. 5-1. I think it wants to safety the blot to keep the lead in the race, even though it's challenging an anchor that might have to go. We can step up 22-21 with it. It just looks like a nice play to me. Oh, the tempo hit on the ace is what's called for. Okay. I think I would have felt for his play as well. But yeah, I guess he does just have a mountain of checkers ready to develop here. And so really wants to take away half a roll. 5-3 is going to make a point, I do believe. Wow, it's supposed to, what? I thought 8-3, 6-3 for sure, but we got all kinds of other options that are better. Step up and clean up in a weak race. Doesn't want to be attacked behind, I guess. The double hit. That's a fun one. I guess with 12 checkers in the zone, he can afford to do some bigger stuff like this. And then 24 to 16 is up there too. I don't know why we would want to just run to a losing race. I guess it covers the outfield when our opponent tries to run. Wow, and John's going to find this. Nice stuff from him. The double hit was not on my radar when outboarded here, but I guess he's down in the race, so he should go for something. 4-6 only enters 1. And he's bought himself the tempo to try to close the game out this way. Very nice. 5-4 can point on head. Can hit loose and cover 2. Yeah, I'm not sure why the 4-point would be better. I guess distribution must be the most of it. 2-6 enters 1. I guess easier to cover high points than deep points too. And once we're into the blitzing game plan, why not make the deep point? Yeah, of course we're going to hit and cover the ace, right? What else could there be? Oh, he has the option to make the 5-point for the long-term asset. But yeah, we just don't need to play pure when we've got this nice blitz going and 2 on the roof. 2-6 enters 1. John looking for 6s and 4s to prevent the anchor. I think he's ahead in the race though, so he could just try to escape now. 4-1, making the 5-point probably stronger in this game now. And let's see if Grant can find a deuce to stave off the blitz. The 3-6 is going to hit. That's a good shot. Sends a 4th back. Buys him some time here. And 3s that hit are duplicated from the roof there too. 4-1 is going to miss. Race is close enough that he should enter high and smooth out, I suppose. Interesting. Why not 6-5? I guess, oh, there's some duplication of stepping up 24 to 23. Oh, John Brown is waiting around to play the winner of this match. That's really exciting. Good for him. Double 3s is going to hit. And can't make a new board point. So I guess making the 10 looks like something, even though it's just something we want to clear later. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Maybe just coming around and playing down to the 10 and smoothing out looks okay too. Okay, nice find though. He finds the best of it too. What is this? Ace 5. Forced to make the double anchor game, and the 5 can pop out. So some winning chances for John O'Hagan here. 5-2. Does it even want to keep hitting here? I guess it can't safety up and doesn't want to leave a shot against a 4-point board, so it has to try. And what other deuce than the one that doesn't create another blot? So he's just going to have to continue on into range. And there will be plenty of hitters from the roof for Grant here. Cool, 60 of you watching with us. Thanks for joining these streams. I'm so excited about the work we're doing out here. Oh, he decides to reduce shots, and this is just a little too stiff. Not too far off, though. I see the idea for sure. 4-6 enters, but cannot hit. Has to break the anchor. And not a great shot for John. That's going to leave a lot of tempo gain for Grant to try to do something attacking to keep him on the back foot. 5-3. I guess it could just hop out to the outfield and clean up with the lead in the race. Why do we need to play for contact? I think we should just keep it simple here, especially at DMP. Maybe we could try to play for the extra gammons at other scores. It looks like they balance out. Just don't win enough. Okay, but he's going to go for the big play. And when it works, it works. So we'll see if John can hit. John fans, and this is going to make his ride home a lot easier, Grant's. 4-3 cannot cover, though. It can make the bar point just in case he's hit. So I think 10-7 and jumping out 22-18 looks really strong. The 4 in for a cover is strong too. Okay. One more shot at the ace for John. And he hits it this time. In with both too. Okay. And that's a very costly hit for Grant. Half the time fanning, half the time entering, under a lot of pressure in this position now. The fan is devastating. A 5 to hit would buy John all kinds of time to start working around the board here. Can't get it though. Ace 2, does it need to, just hop up for mobility? That looks pretty strong. Or we could play 24 to 23 and 6 to 4. I guess we already have 6s out, so nothing new really. Yeah, I would end up making the 24-21. I'm not sure why it's better to stay back. I guess keep pressure on more of the board. Grant with another costly fan. 6-2 gets to hop out. Yeah, it seems like he wants low numbers to play as the thing, so he's supposed to go for distribution there. Oh, this is he didn't actually roll a 6-2, 6-1, 6-2. What happened here? It was a no roll. I don't know, or was there another fan? 3-1 is not good. Can we afford to bury the checker to the ace? I don't think so. I think we got to keep it pure. And now our threes can cover, gives us something to do there. Oh, that switch to the 3 is interesting. 3-5 enters and can just hop out and control the outfield. Can't do anything about the blot on the 9 anyway. So when he gets away with it, it looks really strong, I think. Man, Avi keeping up with the brackets better than I am. Thank you, man. 5-1 is going to hit. Huge roll for John. And I don't think he's ready to lift the ace yet. Has to keep it pure. So it's just going to continue going. Getting close in the race, though. Just going to take a lot of time to get 4 checkers around, so I think he's got to stay pure even with the racing lead until he can pick up more. Ooh, 6 out and 3 covers. This is a perfect shot for John. Thinks about coming around in direct range to hit more checkers, but yeah, I think establishing the outfield point is worth a little bit more here. 6 is fan. And Grant in a lot of trouble for his for this match life here. 4-2, I think just wants to link up. Wow, it needs to play bold and split, though, and spread out. That's surprising to me that the extra shots are worth it so much. It feels like all 3s hit now. 3-5, 3-6, 3-1, 3-3. Not 3-4 and 3-2. Okay. Looks a little loose to me. But putting a second checker on the roof when he doesn't enter really would be worth quite a bit, I suppose. So 7s and 8s to hit now. And he gets an 11, probably just hopping 2 out. All the way to the 10. That's very interesting. Yeah, again, I'm just undervaluing putting pressure on these checkers. But now I can see it's only 3-2 and 3-3, and that's well duplicated around. So sure. And 3-6 is going to miss. What can it do? What can it do? I guess we want to stay back for contact, and so we're going from the 18 or 17 would be my idea. There must be tactics. Yeah, this duplicates 2s, I suppose, so must be a reasonable candidate. And 4-2 going to hit. And what else does it get to do with it? Which one? We hit the more pips. That makes sense. Not sure why XG favors the 8. Oh, I guess it brings like an attacker into range. But he can do it this way too. And Grant fans. Bad time for that. And double 4s. Doesn't look like... Well, it can hit loose. Yeah, I think it should prevent the anchor. Time to do that with a 5-point board. 4 can come down 13-9 for a cover 2. Looks strong. And Grant on the ropes. Mark doesn't get why he hit on the 1. Well, because when he fans, he can just follow out with blitzing and have an easy ride home, I think, Feels difficult to bring the game home with quietly, but had the wrong game plan, especially when gammons don't count. Oh, he just plays quiet instead. Okay. And this is going to link up with the mid. And he gets another fan. And 3-6. Gets to hit. And then the 6 can come in to attack again. Or maybe he takes the time with 2 checkers on the bar to come down. That could be fine as well. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Now's the time to clear the mid. Why do we want to get front-loaded by playing 11-5? Cock dice on 6-2. Okay, I missed that part. Thanks, Edward. $67 people watching. Okay. Seems like we get more in the evening. It's when the U.S. crowd is around to watch. On a Saturday night, apparently. Okay. 5-2 can't enter. John almost through with all the work here. Most numbers hitting. 5s gets to close out. And what is it going to do with the last checker? I would have just assumed bring it in, but 6s are going to leave a shot, so he can make this tactical 6-1. That's a weird play to make. That's a hard one to find. Strange to bury a checker so deeply to avoid the double 6s. 7-2 even seems a little bit better. Surprised that 6-1 can win the most. And 6-3 now. Comes in, takes the checker off the rear, prepares to clear the 6. Needs to dodge 6s and 5s. Aces is going to clear a point. He's just going to, since gammons don't count, just looking to clear from the rear and even out as fast as possible. And 3-2 fans. Hoping for Grant to enter quickly with 6s with a giant deficit in the race. Okay. Not a bad roll. Still wishing Grant would roll 5s or 6s to cement this game. Because now 6-5, 6-4, and 5-4 all leave Grant a chance. 5-2 evens out completely, though, and nearly dead for Grant now. Going to need John some sort of parlay of fanning. John rolls an ace, fans again, and John rolls high numbers. 5s is not what he was looking for. Nearly out of chances. Needs to start fanning on 2 and 1 point boards now. This would be a miracle. 4-1 not good enough. He's going to reach in and resign the game, and John O'Hagan's going to advance. And from what I'm hearing from the brackets, to play John Brown, maybe we'll keep him on stream. John versus John could be a good match. We're deep into it in the semifinals too. But exciting stuff. So I'm going to go find out there what our next matchup is going to be, and we'll be back with more information in just a minute. And we're going to keep playing on until we're through for the night. So stick around, stick with it. All right, Nick Blasier back here, and we're coming on with John O'Hagan's next opponent, John Brown, in what appears to be the semifinals, as Avi stated, of the undefeated bracket. So exciting matchup. We're getting deep into it. I don't know if they're into the money yet, but they have to be getting close at least. So important match here for sure. We're going to set up for that. I'm going to bring the board up, and we're going to get going with that very shortly. Super excited for that one. Of course, John O'Hagan, always playing strong stuff. And John Brown, a student of mine that I've been working with a lot. So always fun to watch his games and see how he's progressing. See what it's like to see him play live, too. You know, we play a little bit, but we talk a lot about his matches, and it'll be nice to kind of like watch his thought process. I'm excited about that. Got to see one more of his matches earlier this week. He was a little rusty in that one and disappointed, but he's had some like better performances, he said, as things get transcribed through the weekend. So excited to see what he can do here. Hopefully he's feeling sharp and can give John O'Hagan a run for his money. Updating that Grant Schneider to John Brown, and then we'll likely get going in just a second here. So I wonder how far, I didn't ask him how far, if we are like planning on finding a undefeated finalist tonight. It's 9:45 here, so this could be one of the final matches. Or I could see us, I guess we're still waiting on the other side. We'd have to wait probably, maybe the semifinals. Maybe that finals will be one of the early things we stream tomorrow. We'll have to see here. We'll check in on that. That would make a lot of sense to me. Kind of hope we can make a big production out of the undefeated finals tomorrow. We're going to find one of those finalists. I was just checking the bracket out. I think I saw that Chris Trencher, running deep like always, is waiting in the semifinals on the other side, and he's waiting on the winner of Roberto Litzenberger and Jason Lee. So that rates to be a pretty strong matchup on that side too. Who knows? Maybe Roberto and Jason, they were only at 3-0 in the match. I forget who was even winning, but you know, it could be that we get to catch the semifinals match on the other side too, depending on how things go. And we got KG chatting with someone over by the board there. I wonder if he's still playing to Ben Friesen. Be fun to bring him. Kind of looked around the room. I couldn't tell who's free to come jump on commentary. Hopefully there'll be, I guess after people start busting out of the consolation, might be easier to find someone tomorrow. I don't mind going kind of laid back on the commentary all night too. Looks like they're taking a second to get started there. Tempted to pop out and look around the room a little bit. We've just been so busy and like running from thing to thing. But okay, we're going to come back with John Brown and John O'Hagan shortly. And maybe if they're not quite ready to start, I'm going to run out there and see if I can organize some details of the other matches real quick. So expect that to start in just a minute, and I will be right back. Look at this. I scrambled. Oh, I think we were on the mics. I think I forgot to turn them off this time that I went over.
Did they hear us talking about the free donuts?
Probably free donuts.
Don't let them know where to come get them.
Oh, yeah. You're saying this out in the lobby there, too. Okay. Those are in the bathroom is where you can find those. Not over here.
I don't think I want to talk about this anymore.
But, okay. We're going to switch over to the stream. I got KG there. Wave to the camera for him, KG. There we go. Okay. So I got some help on commentary here, and we're about to get going, like I said, with John Brown versus John O'Hagan. I am ready to go whenever they take their seats. We got John O'Hagan sitting down. There's John Brown, too. I don't know if I mentioned you, KG, before, but like John Brown is someone that I've been working with on lessons and stuff like that. So fun to see how his game progresses.
Got the inside. I've got some clue how well John O'Hagan plays.
Oh, of course. Yeah. We talked about him a little bit.
Yes.
John O'Hagan, probably the higher, better PR player. But yeah, John's been improving quite a bit. Goals of being at a 5 or lower or something like that. And I think he's trying to grind it down under a 6. Good results lately in BMAB tournaments and plays a lot of online stuff too, and just keeps getting sharper and sharper at the game.
Well, he's won, 3 or 4 matches to get this far? 4 matches?
Right. Pretty good run.
Presumably against open players. This is a proud place to be.
Yeah. It's a really good lineup in the semifinals here too. We got Chris Trencher waiting on the other side. Here's John with his prefers that slot with the 5-1. I like that. But, on the other side, Chris Trencher's waiting for the winner of Roberto Litzenberger and Jason Lee, too. So,
oh, wow. That's all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. That should
be
a
I'm excited.
Nice...
That'll keep me from going home.
We'll probably finish out with this one tonight, but that means that we're going to have a very good finals tomorrow, it looks like, too, and lots of content to come from.
Go look at this. This is a little bit fun. Do you grab the 11-point or fix the distributional problem with 4 on the 8 and 2 on the 6?
I love having the 11-point when after slotting the 5 or with an open 5 or anything like this. It just goes up in value a lot.
Look at the mess with the 4 checkers on the 8-point. I suspect the 11 was right, but I'll bet it's close.
It was very close, yeah. And better to do something on the front side here against all this ammunition in the zone, but John's going to boldly hop out for an
This is the most logical.
Like that one as
and
well.
we get to always say John, so we don't have to remember which is which.
Right. And so now John's going to roll a 2-4.
Exactly.
Hit from the roof, and we'll see how John responds.
John wants to hit him back. I mean, at this point, well, there's this. Now here we have.
Does he?
Now, I'll tell you what. Yes, he does. But the distribution again of the spare checkers is really weird.
Yeah, very close place.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was actually right to make the bar because of this bizarre distribution of checkers.
It was a little bit better, but I feel like this is a stylistic thing at John's too. He likes to find aggressive plays like this.
Well, that's it, which is a good thing.
Away, yeah.
You know, I remember going back a whole lot of years talking to Michael Sienkiewicz, who was a very, very good backgammon player before I was, before almost everybody listening was born. And one of the first things he told me, and he would keep saying, is backgammon is a game of aggression, and don't forget it.
Yeah.
So get in his face. If you can get in his face, get in his face.
Mm-hmm. And
look at this.
This
is a spectacular position.
Yeah. We've got Avi in the chat rooting for John as well. Is anyone not rooting for John?
Yes.
That'd be interesting. What do we got here? It looks like we're outboarded, so I can't see attacking here.
Well, he's got a problem.
I guess everything's stripped.
He has to play the number is the problem.
Yeah, okay.
7s, 8s, and some 10s.
So quiet, makes some sense to me. It does leave a lot of shots anyway. Yeah, good point there too. And just kind of too many points and probably a lot of awkward numbers from the bar. 2-6 jumps to mind and things like that.
There's some fun stuff here that John O'Hagan should be thinking about, but I think with all of White's checkers stacked up on his 6 and 5 point, you can't do anything tricky and that doesn't involve making the 21 point.
Yeah,
that basically puts those 3 checkers out of play.
Yeah, I like that play too. The 2s is going to make it looks like the 9 point. It's kind of, I guess, stuck hitting loose on the 3 if we do that though. Yeah, that looks fun,
yeah. This is one of those plays that used to get in trouble recommending where you play 3 of them and pick up your dice.
Yeah.
I think the 9's huge here, and I think he just has to.
Yeah.
I think it's way too silly to come off the mid, so I think he's just got to eat it and smack him on the 3-point.
Yeah.
He's well, good for him. He's looking for plan B. He sees the first plan as flawed. Now he's looking to see if there's something else, and I don't think he's going to find a good plan B. So this is very likely where he's going to end up. It's hard to imagine it's close to something being better than that.
Oh.
Oops.
Oh no, our XG is going to disappear. Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll forced to live without it. This is all but forced.
Yeah. We can see
As
it
a
over
great
here.
as a great shot. This basically puts a cancer in the middle of the prime whites building and brings almost all of black's checkers back into play. Everybody's checkers are in play, but the black checkers clearly have the more flexibility.
3-1 was a beautiful shot for John as well to advance the anchor and unprime himself a little bit. 5-3 for sure, hopping 18 to 13, and then I don't see any other 3. Why not just around?
I don't see any. Well, the other possibility would be to hit.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'd only do that if you didn't have another good 3. So I don't think that's what's the XG say?
Yeah, you can't quite see it there, but 18 to 10 is what it recommends.
Yeah, that
Cut off by
seems
the
right.
We'll get that sorted again.
Both positions in a vacuum are pretty good, but black's is clearly better. Black's is I would guess a decent favorite in this game.
There we go. We got everything resized beautifully. Figured out the technique.
A very good play here would be to come from the back checker out to the bar point, but it doesn't happen to be a 3.
Does look pretty nice. We'll see if John can take advantage of that in attack. Doesn't look like it, but he does hit.
Oh, no, this is okay. He's got to do something. All of his checkers, except for those 2 and a 6-point, are tied up. You can't really play with just those 2 spares. Oh, look at this. What's it do? Oh, it hits. It's 2.
Yeah, 3-3.
Oh, it's 3-3.
So
okay.
enter, hit, and then what else is the question?
Well, there's actually a couple of hits. You can point on the 2-point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure you want to, but you have to notice it before you reject it. This is a good time, very good time to stop and think. Don't do anything hasty. Don't walk into any hidden whoppers.
Yeah.
And assess what our options are. I don't think you want to come off the 18-point. You can't move the checkers way back. You'd like to hit on the 10-point. That's got to be high on the list.
Yeah.
And then the question is, what do we got? 2 left?
Yep.
Now the question is what to do with them.
Yeah.
Slotting the bar will win fastest, but it'll also get you in trouble fastest.
Yeah.
So it may be.
The loose.
Oh, I love that. This is good. He's getting 2 checkers. I like this. I hadn't seen it yet. I like this play.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought the loose hit after going was going to make sense, but I probably would have made the 10 with it. I thought maybe this makes more sense.
Well, it may be wrong, but I like it.
Yeah.
And it's a game of aggression.
Yeah. Beautiful shot for John from the bar. Again, reestablishes the anchor, but running out of time on the front. Small problem there.
And now I think he definitely breaks into the storm, particularly with that steel post, the techu, as they would say in Japanese Go. The steel post on the 18-point really gets in the way of white attacking.
Nice. Okay. 4-3.
Yuck.
It can. Well, there's a safe play and then there's a bold play. We go in double tiger. We stacking up the 5 and the 6.
Boy, I would actually. I don't know. This
is a way to do it too.
It's gnarly anyway. I think I kind of like the play he was just looking at. Double tiger can fail badly, and what do you really get if it works? Once again, you're never going to build a prime here unless you close them out.
Yeah.
So maybe some kind of play like this, and hope to force black off of your 18-point, or to black roll some awkward double 3s himself and has to crack his prime. Look what happens if John rolls double 3s here.
Yeah. John's got a good feel for the checkers here. Finds plays like this. Instincts are on there, finding the strongest play. But
this is big trouble. I think we've gone past. Do we double into is it too good territory?
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you can't take this.
I don't think so, but only down 25 pips in the race. He's got the 22 point. It's winnable. Still got things to come around.
But it's implodable too. He can't play the two spares he wants to play with are back on the 24 and 22 point. He can't move them.
Right. It's too many behind the prime. So there's a lot more gammons than usual.
If you can call your own number, White's got a pretty good game. Maybe call your own number bar doubles. You're not allowed to call doubles. White can easily win this, but if he can't call his own number, he's got to get very lucky. And Black has complete freedom.
Yeah.
And all his checkers are working except for the one on his own 2 point. That's eventually going to be working.
Yeah. We'll see if what John Hagen decides with this.
I don't think he's thinking about is it good enough. He must be thinking could it possibly be too good, or he's just making double sure. In the old days, I don't know whether you consider it ethical or not. You might be coffee hazing here. You make a real slow double and hope to get a take.
And so, buys a little more freedom there, and then has to leave a shot anyway, so why not put him on the roof? I like that.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Now he's got the fives and enter, and then what? You got to use the other number. He's going to run out of good things to do. He's going to have to start breaking his 9 and 10 points, and he doesn't want to do that.
I think he'd really like to enter higher, but doesn't have a 2 to play.
Here's another cube decision. I guess any thoughts of a gammon have gone out the window. Whether I presume John was thinking about could it possibly be too good, and I think his position got a little worse.
Yeah,
and so he doubled.
Interesting. I didn't really notice that as like having gotten worse after that sequence, but
I'll bet it did if you go back and peek.
Yeah. Made a point, I guess. So John's got a little bit better, and O'Hagan ended up with the checker on the ace instead of the deuce. Sure.
Yeah, that's a difference.
Okay. Yeah. Subtle ones. So 1-0 lead to start. 9 away, 8 away.
I always like being an even number away. That first point's a big deal too. There's psychology and it really is.
Yeah.
You think you're superhuman. I think it doesn't affect you. Oh, I don't mind being down 0-1. I know from a zillion years of experience and from talking to very good players with a zillion years of experience, it does make a difference.
Yeah.
That first point is a lot bigger than it says in the match equity charts.
Okay.
It really is.
Is that Bob Coca in the chat, like at the hotel, asking us what the bracket situation is?
Oh, I wasn't watching.
You can come down and take a look. We could tell you too. But yes, Avi got your answer there in the chat too.
Well, look at this. We turned our back and
hanging out to a huge lead.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah,
that's a good point to have.
Brown. Cube could have been coming. Still needs to develop some points against the anchor, I suppose, but huge racing lead for John, just trying to escape.
Yeah, I think he's John with the dark checkers has to get some more checkers in play. He's got a bit of a he's winning. Oh, that's a nice. Well, what's it do?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a nice.
I don't know what's it do. He's hamstrung.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'd rather be black than white here, but it's actually fairly close.
Yeah. Gives up the midpoints, has to volunteer a shot behind. Yep. We'll see, and finds it with the ace. I guess this looks like a double hit kind of situation.
Oh, I think it's a double hit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would hazard a guess this isn't close. I mean, if you don't double hit, what do? You can't pop out in the outfield, which you'd sort of like to do. You can't develop any of the checkers on your 6 point.
Right.
The midpoint has no particular great significance here because it's not opposing the other midpoint or anything. I mean, in some ways you'd like to break up your own midpoint and back up one of those checkers a pip or two to give you better coverage of your 9 and 10 point. Oh, here's a spectacular shot. Best by far. Now the question is to bring both out or to make the 3 point, and I think bringing both out is also clearly right. Now all 15 checkers, even though a little stacked up, they're all linked together, and the path home is now clear.
Mm-hmm.
And how white wins is suddenly gotten difficult, unless the race is close, but it doesn't look very close.
No, he started ahead 9 pips in the race, so once he counts that and sees that he's just trying to clear safely, he's going to make this play for sure.
Now, when black doubles, we may soon find out, but white can take this. White's in no danger of passing.
Yeah, looks like the contact's very good and pretty awkward for black here. Does he have market loss? Like maybe in a 3-1, 1-1, 3-3, big sets kind of thing?
Yeah, double fives is pretty.
Double fives works okay. Leaves some work to do.
You still got to get home past the spike on your 4-point and the straggler on your 2-point.
Right. It looks like a lot of work to me. I wouldn't be thinking to send this quite yet, but we're right on the borderline according to 3-ply. Very interesting.
Oh, look at that. That's it. Can you? Does this thing double plus quickly or not?
Not quickly.
Oh, okay.
Might eventually though. Oh, actually on hint it doesn't like to do it either. So yeah.
Yeah, I personally, if anybody cares, would not double. I don't think it's not giving your opponent a real problem. I don't believe. I mean, I think this take is just too easy. The double's a little questionable. So wait and make a double later when maybe your opponent has a better chance of making an error. Here you're giving your opponent a chance to make a major blunder, but I think his chances of getting that blunder aren't very big.
Yeah.
Now, what is it? Technically, it's at least the 3-ply says it's a photo finish. Not a lot of hesitation by John Brown to take this, and it, clearly correct.
I don't think John Brown is a passer from my
And
experience.
and here we go.
This is where action shows up right away, so you're happy to have sent the cube when you're planning on making a play like this, you know?
I don't know which 2 is right. I don't
Probably reduces shots.
Yeah, I guess so. I
like that.
Oh, look, it wasn't particularly close. Surprised by that.
4-2. Misses.
Build your points in order.
Yep.
Hold on to everything else you've got for the time being.
Mm-hmm. 6-5.
Yeah, that's an awkward. Maybe dump behind. He doesn't like to do that. That makes future hits and things difficult.
Yeah.
And you really, if you can build your 1 point and then 2 point and 3 point, if that forces white up onto your 5 point, it might be good. But it's still a little tricky to bring this home.
Distribution got very nice for making the 5 point. This is going to make
4th?
both of them.
Oh, I see. He can eat the 4th one.
You can make the ace, yeah.
Yeah. No, that must be right.
Yep.
I'm not sure there's a second play.
And maybe John O'Hagan decided to send that cube because of the extra checker back. When we get a little bit further here, there are some gammons available. Gonna hit the clock a few times and then roll, okay. And so, but the contact's still looking good for John Brown.
I'm glad he didn't think too much about popping out, because popping out is basically giving up.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not time to give up.
And we could point on head, but the distribution looks way too awkward, so I think we got to make points in order. Go for the 3 here.
I agree. Oh, shuffle O'Hagan's spares a little bit, and you kind of want to push him. You kind of want to push him up to your 4 point.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's much. Then you're only getting past 1 point.
Yeah.
And there's no gap. But the resulting distribution, as you said, is just too bad. I think he has to take the flexibility along with this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bob Coca left already. Okay. Well, I'm glad I got to meet you before you headed home. 6-5.
Almost too big.
It is. Yeah, definitely. I don't think you want to make the ace or out of order in situations like this. So I'd probably come in and slot the deuce.
The trick is he wants to hang on to a 6 so he's not forced off the 22 point too fast, or 20, whatever that is.
Yeah, save
21
6
point
is
too
the
fast.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, but that's the idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is a risk, but it just feels like the bot likes to go for things like that, you know?
Okay, that's nice. We don't have a 4. Oh, there it is. You can bury one. there was no 4, but
not much else to do.
No.
Now it gets a little less scary to potentially have to deal with leaving with the 6. Now that checkers are starting to be buried.
Yeah, and shots or combination shots could come straight away. What do we got for badness?
He's actually
here?
supposed to hop out of harm's way instead of covering here. The contact starting to favor John here by being back. John O'Hagan.
Oh, was there a step up he could have done?
Yeah, 23 to.
Yeah, so that surprises me. Oh, look at this. This is sweet. Okay, some combination of numbers with a 4. That's where the problems are going to come. That's gorgeous.
Clears nicely and great distribution. And we'll see if John Brown feels the pressure on a 6 or a deuce to step up now. Has to crack anyway, so maybe he's going to see that the contact doesn't seem to favor him anymore and get out of there.
Yeah, and he's also start with his board cracked.
Right.
some of these long shot gammons start to creep in.
Right, right.
I think sort of funny. If he could keep his board, there'd be a better temptation to stay back because if you get a hit, you win.
Yeah.
Here you get a hit and you're still losing, and you could lose a bit of a freaky gammon. I mean, the gammons are here. They're not very big, but they're here.
Yeah, it was actually a massive 10% difference in gammons to stay back. I was surprised to see that. Jumps all the way up to 15%, closer to 16.
If you stay back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's it was a very real threat.
Yeah. 6-4 is gonna
that's gorgeous.
Clear. Yep.
There's a small chance. I don't know if he's got a 8 or 9% chance to hit a shot here. It's not very big.
I think 5-2 should stay pure and pop out here. Oh, he can do it this way. Okay, he doesn't have to leave. I still probably would have run, but at least he keeps the chance of closing out and doesn't bury another checker.
Well, he's
this
religiously staying even. So his 6s and 5s and 4s don't leave a shot.
Now 5-3's ready to go. So many buried checkers that you don't need the anchor for contact anymore. Don't really fear being closed out in a position like this.
John O'Hagan doesn't have very many checkers off.
No.
We could, one boxes in this, you could win the ugly here. You're not a favorite by any means, but now that's this doesn't waste any pips, so what the heck?
Yeah.
But there's zero shot coming now, and then you're going to have to play again.
Right.
Well, now with all those checkers gone, I think he'll wait for a shot. He might even break his board to wait for a shot, unless he rolls a huge.
Oh, this is the best question we could have, but I still think I would break it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the trick is a hit here. Oof. He's going to have to roll a 1 to leave a shot, so he's going to have at most 4 checkers off, and a hit here against 4 checkers off puts you in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Now you want to prove that there's no gammon.
Those are tough decisions, too, when you're supposed to stay for like 2.8% wins. It just feels like why. I run a lot in those situations, not realizing there is anything to play for,
Well, yeah, part of it has to do with what do you do when you catch the guy?
Right, exactly.
The dog's barking at the car and running down the street, and the car stops, and the dog doesn't know what the hell to do. And what do you do when they catch the guy, and what are your chances of actually winning?
Right.
And when your opponent only has 4 checkers off, you can... As soon as you start bearing off, you're winning.
Mm-hmm. All right, resignable. XG doesn't care anymore.
It's a thin
Clear
one.
the 6, it says.
Oh, that was a fun game. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Now you got to be a little bit itchy.
Yeah. I enjoy it more when my student wins, to be honest.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotta root for him. Super nice guy if you've ever met him. Have you talked to John Brown at all?
Not that I remember.
Yeah.
But then I'm old and my memory is porous.
I think I don't know if he's been playing forever on the circuit or anything like that. Yeah.
You probably have met him because he's played tournaments in the past, like in your time.
Yeah. Then I probably knew him at some point or knew
Ben
him.
says he's been playing tournaments forever, and Kent has probably met him.
Well, he stopped playing for a bit long time.
The name sounds familiar, other than from American history.
What is probably a lot of people named John Brown out there. You might have met at some place.
At least 2.
All right, 9 away, 6 away. John O'Hagan will have to be a little more careful with the cube. John Brown a little more conservative, but might too much. Yeah. We're still a ways off match end, so he can't be going crazy quite yet. 3-2 returns fire from the bar. We'll see if we get in any borderline decisions where the score swings it a little bit for him. Seem to be having fun over the board and laughing with each other too. 3 enters and 1 hits.
It's hard to know when to stop hitting on the 5-point in these back and forth battles.
Ah.
My general answer is don't stop.
Yeah.
Just
a lot of times when it's the last spare on the 6 is a good time to stop.
But you also have to have a good option.
When you have like way too few checkers in the zone, when you could do something else, when you have some other option. But John Brown with the lead in the race is just going to hop out and see if he can escape, make a distraction play. I like that. And the 6 gets the cover. So John O'Hagan comes out with a structural advantage.
And has no qualms having 3 goalies back there. Just spread them all out.
Yeah.
I like to look at it as lines of force.
Mm-hmm.
Draw a little 6 dots in front of every one of your checkers to see what it covers.
Yeah.
These split back checkers have huge lines of force exerting out into the outfield.
Yeah, I like that. John O'Hagan gets to make the anchor, which will fend the cube off even at scores for a long time. Makes it play more like normal scores. 4-5 can't move the back checker. Can't quite get to safety either. So what do we do with this? The 4 doesn't look good regardless.
Yeah, I think. Well, he's already thought about it. That's probably right. I'd have backed it up and taken a breath and just looked at it for a minute or two to make sure I wasn't missing something.
Yeah, actually, I mean, XG seem to prefer slotting the bar, even though that can be hit with a 6 from the back checker. That seems interesting. And John O'Hagan decides to slot the bar here, allowing John Brown to potentially escape with tempo with a 6. But down this much in the race, it seems reasonable.
This is actually, I think the game is surprisingly close.
Look at this. He misses the opportunity to tempo hit with all these checkers around. Really needs to take that.
This is pretty nifty.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He did that fast, and I guess it's right. But 8-5 was certainly a candidate. What he really wants to be able to do is get all the way out with a 6.
Yeah.
The straggler back there had some defensive value.
Yeah, but it's getting front loaded and taking away from the offensive value of that spare too.
But he certainly
he'd
like to have a 13th checker in on the front game.
Yeah.
And he's only got 12 now.
Yep.
So
extends to a 5 prime, looking very strong for John O'Hagan. But John Brown compensated with the racing lead. Just looking for an opportunity to step up to the edge and has some good blocking structure for now too.
Yeah,
but maybe just a sequence away from losing here.
When do we can't quite? Oh, look at that! Lots of pips, but what's it do?
Yep.
Take a picture of it. He had a prime there for a split second, and then he broke it.
And I think John's still excited.
Whoops.
Ooh.
Here we go the other way. This looks like the ace point.
Yeah, I think we want to keep a lot in front here. Seems like the idea to me. Oh, interesting. We can stay back on the midpoint, too. Nice find from John Brown here. I wouldn't have thought of this one.
Finally.
Similar theme to an early game that we watched before we contains from out here a little bit better. Hops out, looking for 2s on both sides of the board. Perfect duplication from O'Hagan.
Now, now we stop and think for Mr. O'Hagan. Score, no score, stop and think. What's going on here? What can happen?
Yeah, it feels like, wow.
He didn't think very long. He's faster and younger by a little bit, so.
I wouldn't have thought so either. I'm surprised that's a borderline
That's
cube.
a place I would have taken some time, and I'm a little bit ADHD, so I don't like to take time.
I suppose the threat of cracking here, it still looks okay to me.
I think he's got
here.
a double. The only question is, can he take this, and I'm not sure he can.
Yeah, I'm always tempted to take these on the race, just thinking that my opponent doesn't always come forward cleanly. And all I have to do is step up to the edge of the 2, keep trying for a while, right? I got 34 pips to work with.
It's a take. It's close, but a take.
Yeah. And I don't think it's really score-based either. And John Brown's going to let it go.
This does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, most people I feel like are better at evaluating these positional ones like this, where it's just overrun and risky. I just get very optimistic.
I might well have given it up. You know, I'd be curious to see what a rollout or a deeper analysis said. I couldn't predict for sure. Very strong double.
Good to see Mark in the stream there and Gary Olison too. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
There's the boring old lover's leap. I never understood why lover's leap was a good thing. I think lover's leap meant you were jumping to your death. And in a way, you're burying a checker. You're taking a pair of checkers which are working together and basically throwing one off a bridge.
Yeah. So you're saying the metaphor works, or?
Well, it's not intended to, but I think it sort of does. For many years, I would not leap with lover's leap. I'd hop out with a 6 and bring the 5 down. It's just it's a prettier position. It's
very close, and it's often even right depending on in the early game, depending on the structure exactly.
Right. It's a prettier play. It makes more sense theoretically. I think sadly, when XG came along and started cranking these things out, it said, no, it's not right. But it's not some horrible blunder.
Right.
And as you said, in some positions, it is right.
Right. It's always hard for me to construct that position. I should be able to do that like a third roll. You can
get very close by having your opponent roll 6-5.
Yeah.
And then rolling 6-5 yourself. It's still fractionally wrong, but you're very, very close.
Potentially at the score, it can be right to split then too, at like Gammon Go or something. Yeah.
Also, I think it depends on what you're trying to do. I think if you're playing against a very strong player or some deity that plays perfectly, you want to run with 6-5. If you're playing against someone who you're pretty sure is weaker than you, if the devil comes down to Georgia or to Virginia, and you know the devil's an intermediate backgammon player, and it says he's going to play you one game for your soul, and you start with 6-5, come out and split.
All right.
I mean, for sure.
I like it.
Which is one of the reasons I played it a lot, like in the late 70s, is that nobody knew how to play.
Yeah.
Except for a few of us.
You think that's why a lot of people still split with the 6-4, even though it's pretty strong to make the 2-point?
Oh, you're going to find players of my ilk that still lose their lunch making the 2-point. I mean, I'll do it occasionally, but it's sort of a last resort.
Nothing to do but come around and hit here. Yeah. Ian asking if this is undefeated. This is the undefeated semifinals, John O'Hagan and John Brown. And on the other side, we have Roberto Litzenberger and Jason Lee playing in the quarterfinals to go face Chris Trencher, waiting for the winner of that.
All that's fun. That may stop me from going home early. I have to play the finals of the doubles. I'm going to win the squid.
Oh wow! Okay.
Have a squid as the final. As the
oh yeah, you're playing with.
I'm playing for the squid.
Those look awesome. I thought they're not the turtles, Ben. They're squids now.
What?
The doubles trophy.
So I want a squid.
I don't know which one's which. First place is either the turtles or the octopus.
Okay.
That's a squid.
Got it.
Well, it's an octopus, but it looks like a squid to me.
Yeah.
I want the squid.
But yeah, asking in chat too, they did have to shorten the match length to 9 points because we got 72 players. We had the whole tournament arranged for a max of 64, not expecting more than that, and got such great turnout that we had to shorten it up to fit it all in 2 days. Good problem to have. And this one's tricking John O'Hagan. I mean, it seems so natural to just come around and hit here, but I guess we could make the 3-point as well. Has to figure out exactly what the race is and if there's some more conservative play that's warranted.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he's just being thorough. It can't hurt to do that.
And John Brown sees he just wants to hop out and win a race.
Well, this is a
Choose
good roll.
is going to prevent it. Yep. Makes the 4 prime along the
look
way.
at clever John doing them in the right order.
Yeah. And what can John Brown find this time? 1-6 is not what he's looking for.
That's poop.
13-7, a little bit better to stay here.
I think this is that's a demonstrably worse play. This position really stinks.
Yeah.
Match score considerations aside, I would whip this for sure at an even score. And
It's
even
a
with
big
a match
pass
score,
at a normal score, I think.
It might be. This is
Yeah.
look at you can. Gammons are pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Gammons are pretty heavy.
So for money, if the Gammon price is about half and the deficit is 21, it should be about 10 price for like 82. But John going to slow down. And
I like this play. Look at
conservative.
that. You want to wrestle? Look
Wow.
at that.
Seems a little big here.
It is a little big, but I like it. How do you walk into this or not? There's going to be more wrestling going on here.
Yep. Gets to cover the point and steps up to the edge, tries to escape.
It's a bold bid.
Yeah. John missing some small cubes along the way, John O'Hagan. Understandable that he's playing conservative at the score. Nothing to do with the 6, but come down, hit loose, okay. See what John Brown can come up with. Okay, a little bit improvement to the distribution, but stuck in primed now.
O'Hagan's forward position has moved in better. This got to be, maybe not. Maybe simply moving the man checker from the 13 to the 8 gave White enough flexibility that he can plan to play a few rolls without having to give anything up.
Yep. 6-1 gets
that's
just automatically makes the bar point and doesn't notice he can hit. How does he miss that checker on the midpoint?
I don't know. That
Wow.
seems. I think that was just an oversight or too excited in the moment.
Yep, playing fast. I do feel like he's playing fast now too.
Years and years ago.
Let me run out there and remind him to slow down. Oh, he sees
there
it this
he found
time.
it. He got a second chance. Years and years ago, there was no streaming.
Yeah.
Small numbers of years ago, but there was only occasionally, and it was expensive to set up. We didn't have these little magic cameras or anything. Closed circuit TV finals.
Yeah.
It was a big deal if you played a tournament in closed circuit TV finals.
Okay.
And the good players would say, you haven't really proven to yourself and what you're made of until you can play under the lights, because they always had to have extra lighting because the cameras couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And the first time I played under the lights, I thought, yeah, there's something different here.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching. It's all special. Now I had tons of experience of playing with crowds and crowds of people around, but there was something psychological about playing under the lights that you hadn't really got your spurs yet until you played under the lights. And there could be some of that here. No matter how perfect we all think we are, some of this pressure, the whole world's watching. I'm nearing the finals. I'm playing the great John O'Hagan. It can be hard to cope with.
Yeah. John misses. Well, he was playing on too good for a bit, I assume, John O'Hagan, but then gets to a little bit of a scare, but still has a too good position and chooses to cash it instead to move on to 9 away, 4 away. Lets John Brown off the hook a little bit there.
I really like being 4 away.
Yeah,
and when
understandable.
I have a big lead, I like being 4 away because if Junior over there gets frisky with a cube, I just gammon his face and go home.
Hi, Alan from Montreal. Hi, everyone else in chat too. Up and down, nothing fancy here at this particular double threes, even at the score, I don't think.
No, that just seems normal. And John O'Hagan will jump on that.
Yeah, making the anchor is pretty huge here.
He's not going to lose 4 points anytime soon. And nor is John Brown.
Yeah. 5-3, I guess, just makes a point behind. In these mutual holding games, having a board is more important than it seems like, even behind the anchor. Likely to resolve in contact eventually.
I'm a little bit surprised that he's considering this a butterfly anchor is not.
Yeah.
That the second best play is actually abandoning the anchor.
Yeah, I see Dana Nazarian and some other players find stuff like that way more often than I would. I'd sit on the 21 a little bit too long, I guess.
Well, my buddy Michi has got me keeping an eye on these things.
I see the 22 to run now.
From playing against him. I mean, somehow when you play Michi, you always got a butterfly anchor and you're always supposed to break it. And when you don't, he cackles his Michi cackle and tells you butterfly.
Oh, no.
There was one such position in the lecture this afternoon.
Oh, wow, okay.
Me and Karen playing against Michi, and we had a ridiculous breaking of butterfly anchor, which we looked at and completely rejected.
Yeah.
And any other play was a whopper.
Yeah, wow.
You had to jump off the bridge and abandon the cocoon.
This is an extremely awkward double fives here for John Brown. Forced, nothing's really good. Tough to screw it up, really.
Well,
it's just no options.
Got to make his 3-point, doesn't he?
He's got it already.
Oh, I was looking the other direction.
Right. It's a lot nicer from the other side.
Oh, what a mess.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah, move those
move
checkers.
John O'Hagan put the kibosh on that one.
He's going to save him the time. Okay.
So what do we can 1. Okay, that seems like a good start.
However you do it is fine. Just don't leave a shot. And gets the racing lead, but a bit overrun, so he's going to be challenged to run.
Still a very, very close game.
Yeah.
Both positions sort of stink. I guess O'Hagan certainly looks prettier, but neither one of them is exactly gorgeous.
Right. 2-1.
Oh, I'd stick it in his face.
You just want a slot here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the board's pretty weak. I guess the value of making the 11 isn't so high. Oh, we can make the 11 in slot. How about we do it that way?
Either way. I would actually make the 11. What I first saw was making the 11 in slot. But I think that those we're still playing backgammon. This does not have to be just a race and wait to see who rolls doubles.
Right.
And black has control of the board. So black can put his checkers where he wants them. If they get hit, bring them around and try again. And don't worry about the race.
And he's down in the race already by 22.
Which makes it even more important.
Exactly.
Just put your checkers where you need them. And the checkers that aren't really developed here are all those spares on his 6-point. Mm-hmm. I mean, I looked before he even rolled, I said, I want to roll an ace.
Yeah. Interesting.
And by the way, it's a good idea to think that way.
Yeah.
Look at it like as a chess player, where you get to tell the pieces what they can do, as opposed to the pieces telling you what you have to do.
Yeah, it helps you not miss opportunities hitting and things like that.
Think about what I want to do before I roll, and then roll and see how that fits your plan or how much you have to modify your plan. And I wanted to get off the look. I'm really surprised that Mr. O'Hagan didn't develop that ace.
Yeah. It looks like a fairly natural play to just play 2 down. And after thinking about it for a while, then we can see how there might be something better, but misses it anyway after deliberating. Very interesting. And what's the follow-up? Makes the bar point. Okay.
I guess you have to do that, but I still want to make that ace. I'll bet it's not far behind.
Stylistically, though, this feels like how John O'Hagan plays a lot of times, like just not in these late games, quick to slot and things like that. Happy to doesn't really mind not having to play beautiful backgammon. He knows that he can win it a lot of different ways, right? And will kind of keep it stiff when it feels like he can get home that way. And I've seen him bring games like that home a lot. Dirk's another player that can be like that a lot too.
I remember Dirk from a whole lot when he was young.
Yeah, interesting.
I didn't see him for 40 years or something. 30 years.
Very strong player
I
now.
played a lot against Dirk in the old days.
Yeah. And is he out of time enough to think about slotting now? Otherwise, he has to put a 6 checker on the 6 point and come to the 7. Looks a little ugly.
I think I'm still going to the 5 point.
Of course, yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Well, I know what you're doing. We've established that.
And look, you're not, is white really going to hit you and extricate both those checkers and bring them home?
Right.
I mean, in a weird way,
Nice find by John
getting hit
O'Hagan.
is better than not. Than having them wandering around or stacked up on your 6 point or something.
Right.
Well, now we got to put it to the test. This is a pretty good one.
I think he will try.
This is a nice one. A little baby number develops all. This position looks so much better than it did one roll again, just from a simple ace deuce.
Cool.
Out into the outfield he goes. Now you kind of want to hit is what you want.
Yeah.
What's that? Some 12s and 11s or 9s and 10s?
Looks like 9s and 10s to me.
9s and 10s, yes. They're not
4-1. Ooh, yeah. We can make the point, but
That's a
maybe we should
temporary-
make the anchor.
That's a butterfly anchor.
Yeah.
It's
36 pips ahead in the race, hoping to buy time to roll a set, preventing the attack for now. And why does John want to run here when he's so far down in the
I don't
race?
think he
Hopefully
does.
he's just popping out to cut
I
it.
don't think he does. I think
wow, he did that
I think
very quickly.
I think he should have stayed back. He can also play 2 checkers from 6 to 4. That'd be screaming at me. I can't have my 5 point. Let's take my 4 point. At least it'll look prettier. If it looks pretty, maybe it works better.
Looks very thematically wrong there too, but
And
also
this is one of the reasons.
I guess it does contain any numbers that would try to run. Maybe that could be part of the idea.
But it lets white play easily. Somebody's knocking on our door.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on a second.
All right, where were we?
4-3 to play. How do we contain best? Interesting. Just needs to stay out there with the blots on board.
Particularly with all those blots in there, I might have started building my board behind him.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's the race? Isn't John behind in the race by some?
By a lot.
I mean, John
36 after this roll.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be not pulling his goalie.
Yeah.
And still not pulling his goal. Does he have a miscount?
I guess
he's fallen into some kind of trance.
It seems like that. Yeah, this is very strange to see him just have the wrong idea here.
Well, it didn't matter.
Right. Okay.
He could have the outfield checkers anywhere he wanted, unless it was in the way of double sixes, which wouldn't have been silly to have a checker sitting there. Sort of double sixes popped, he'd get a shot. But that's
here
the end of that.
comes the cube.
No more. Nothing left of that game. That was a fun game. There was some good stuff there.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised that John not jumping on his 5 point, but to some people, it's a pretty funny looking play.
Alex Ashagian says he remembers playing you in LA in 2018, Kent. I don't know if you remember him.
I don't remember anything, but hi.
I'm with you.
Never forget playing. My goodness, I must have lost. But thank you.
Yeah,
I hope that's a good never forget, not a bad never forget.
I will have my revenge.
Well, this looks like a good shot.
Yeah, hitting it, unstacking, making the 5 all look good.
There's all kinds of good stuff. I mean, back in the day, we'd have jumped on the 5 point without batting an eye. But these days, there's always. Roberti puts it well in some of his opening books. 2 medium things is usually better than 1 big thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that works, but it seems to work.
Yeah. There's also just the issue of developing the 6 point is harder, I guess, than maybe people used to think. I'm always worried about that when I make plays like that. I can just see
Well, look at this. He got the best of both. He got to play 8 of them.
Yeah, very nice. 5-3 fans too. Okay,
Well,
and
that's the-
4-away,
well,
8-away. Still has to be careful of the cube. He's going to ship it here anyway, though.
No, I think
he's too good.
Yeah, I was about to say the only question is he too good or not? Was it close?
Yeah,
it was very right on the line between
right on the borderline.
Too good and not too good.
That's a scary score to send cubes at, though, and fairly easy pass for John Brown to let him to 3 away instead of being at 4 away.
It's also there's some you can sort of have it both ways.
Yeah.
By playing on.
Yeah.
You keep the cube low, and sometimes you win your gammon anyway.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, the recubes at 4 away, 8 away are about as bad as they get.
Yeah,
in
you don't want
backgammon.
to play with that.
Yep. 5-4 looks like it wants to split.
No, I'd leave him
Considering
there.
running, though, okay.
I'd leave him there, but
Yeah.
running's not silly.
Yeah, the 13-8 is so valuable, though, I'd
Yeah,
rather do
if
that.
you already had a checker on the 8-point, I'd run.
Yeah,
And that's the difference.
sure. Finds the split. And it won't take much of an improvement for John Brown to have a cube at the
I'd
score.
attack it. And even if
Yeah.
you have to attack it from the midpoint.
Sure.
Fight for a good point, Michi.
5-4
And
gets
win a
Danger
good
up.
point. John O'Hagan.
Yep. So nothing really going John Brown's way here. Tough to see how he's going to get any big advantage in this game now that John O'Hagan has locked up the anchor. 6 comes down. Okay.
Attack.
Feels
Attack.
pretty stripped there.
Just
3-2.
attack. Put all the checkers where you like them.
Interesting.
White's handcuffed.
Yeah. 3-2 gets the hit back. Nice shot for John
And
Brown.
Hit him again, except for maybe with a 3.
5-1. Nice one to try it with. Has the better board. Going to keep going for it.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 shots at it. Yeah,
3-2
keep
hits
hitting it
again.
back.
All right, now we're getting into territory where John Brown could find a cube eventually.
Do we hit back? I certainly hit with a 6. I don't know.
Making the 11's a little too
It may
valuable
be right
here.
to take the 11 point instead of hitting.
Yeah. And 4 checkers back just yields more gammons than it seems, even with that anchor. So could be something brewing for John Brown here, depending on how it develops.
This is a tough play. I might actually abandon 24 point.
Yeah, he's ahead in the race.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has to. I think that's huge
This
here.
also looks much prettier.
Yeah.
Not well. He's John O'Hagan still wants to attack on his 5 point if he can.
Sure. And
Now the only question is if he attacks on his 5 point, what's he do with the 2? He doesn't
Yeah.
really want to play a 2.
I wouldn't mind
in a weird
attacking
way.
with
The
him.
checker on the 22 point is better off than stacked up there. He's thinking about taking it the whole way and not hitting.
I'm surprised that that's the play here. I would be thinking hitting looks very good.
Yeah, and it's maybe we just don't have enough ammunition, or there's no good 2 to play. Back it up.
Sure.
You know.
I don't mind giving up my midpoint so much here. Just keep the 11 with it.
Yeah,
and hit
no,
loose.
I'm with you. I can certainly. So I can see this too. This is
Yeah.
one of these. We've got white reasonably well tied up. Oh, that's a nice roll. That's a good. That's a good base to play from.
With the racing lead, that's perfect.
It's gonna
Doesn't
be
need to
hard.
hit at all.
It's gonna be hard to play as 6s.
2-1 safety's up, and it feels like John O'Hagan just doesn't care about the race anymore. He just feels like he's always ahead in it. So he's gonna play
I guess.
just simple, keep coming around the board.
Yeah, White's basically run out of 6s. He's gonna have to slam him to his ace point or break his 8 point. This is Black's position looks a lot prettier. Oops, there's some beef.
Here he goes to racing.
There's
Still
some
down
beef.
5 pips, so needs to keep contact somewhere. But yeah, finds a lot
that,
of mobility
that
out
might
of
not
this.
be right. Back it up, John. Take a closer look and think about it a little bit. You might be right to keep the spare going and leave him to blot.
Interesting. They're very close. Yeah.
There's a blot in the other guy's home board. If he's hitting the blot, he's getting off your 18 point. It's not a silly play. He's good. I like that. Go back and rethink the whole thing. That's a good idea. You started to make a play, realized it was tricky, looked at the whole thing, comes around, and now come to the 10. Oh!
Very close stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not a huge deal. Coming to the 10 looks prettier, and this is a good time to do it. Oh, look at this. Double 5s the other way. What did we say the race was?
It's going to be 25 pips after this, so cube coming. If he remembers to clear from the 18. We got a lot of people in chat remembering playing you now, though. Ian remembers that he was glad to have hedged you in a money round.
Oh, okay, there you go. Hedging's for losers. Why did I hedge?
Alex got blitzed in a two-way game. Yeah, this is going to be a clear run, 18-8, and it's going to take.
It's not. Maybe he can answer with 5s or 6s to keep it close. What's the actual pip count?
Yeah, it's ahead 5 pips now. It'll be 25 after the roll. So he's
I would say so.
quite a few to stay in it.
A big doubles. It's showing 0.95 because a big doubles will keep O'Hagan in it.
Right, and 6-3
I'm not sure a 9
probably
is
not enough.
quite enough.
16 pips seems like a pass here.
Yeah.
I don't see enough contact to think about it. And yeah, John Brown's supposed to claim this. I think he'll find a cube pretty easily here. I don't remember what what racing formula he uses or anything like that, but I think probably all of them point to pass.
That seems likely. What did you say? What did you say the total? Oh, there it's right on right there on the screen,
it's on
right
the
there
screen,
for me to
actually, yeah.
read.
Yep.
So we're up in the 13% or something, or no bigger.
Yeah.
This is pretty poopy.
I use the trice one where we round up to, well, wait, what is it? You round up to the nearest 10, 120, divide by 10 is 12, and add 1 is 13 for the point of last take. However you do it. It's easy to do that,
That's close enough.
Yeah. I don't know how he explains it. There we go. Finds the cube. John O'Hagan should have an easy pass. And one more point on the board.
Yeah,
Perfectly played game.
It's one of these funny points. And when you get to now, the lead dwindles a little, so it makes it a little less goofy. But where you get, I like to look at how's it if every game from here on out is 2 or 4.
Yeah.
What is my pass doing?
Sure.
And if you're going from even away to odd away, it's not such a big deal to give them the point. If you're going from odd away to even away, maybe think a little more about, can I squeeze out a take here? That must be in your book somewhere for the shorter races. I don't know.
I actually leave that part out because what I was focusing on was more these like 3 away, many away scores, that the early game adjustment, how much more aggressive the trailer has to send the cube, how much more conservative the leader has to be. And these are major effects, right? They take a no double and turn it into a massive double and maybe a pass. Or they take a massive double and pass and turn it into a no double. And these things you can't get into match play without knowing, right?
Well,
and the even odd is like, it affects some sort of borderline decisions, right? And you can use that to lean you in the right decision. But if you're using that kind of across the board and your window isn't pretty calibrated, it might just screw you up a lot too.
Well,
it
can.
So yeah, I tried to make it more like, here's the really big stuff,
Imagine how we did all of this when there was no such thing as a match equity table.
Yeah, I
was
can't
there.
imagine that.
I was there when dinosaurs roamed the earth. When Kit Woolsey was almost young.
Yeah. I have found more uses for that as I've heard more people say it, but I would say the other things I use quite a bit more. So we can hop over to the commentator view. I don't know. They're taking a short break here. Ken Golding with us too. But yeah, I know probably it'll come up. I feel like the first time I heard of that was maybe more in Michi's description. So I expect that to show up in his match play book whenever he gets that out,
Yeah, that'll be nice to read.
Yeah. I think so. He was reaching out and asking me and other people online about like racing formulas. So I guess maybe there's going to be a lot about that in there too.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting. I'm not sure what that's for, but I know he's one of those guys that uses the Kleinman count, like the hyper accurate one. And so I think he was looking to learn how to explain the simple ones or something like that.
I was in the UK a year ago.
Yeah. Okay.
And Art Benjamin was going to be there. I was going to be in the UK for other reasons. I learned Art was going to be not only in the UK, but there was a backgammon tournament.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I said, all right, I'll meet you at the backgammon tournament. I also owed him a Fibonacci dodecahedron.
Okay.
Which I promised him at his Hall of Fame induction. Because he's like a proud member or president of the American Fibonacci Society.
Yeah.
Whatever the bleep that is. So I actually, I was going to be in London anyway, visiting my family. I tacked a few days onto the trip. The timing was perfect. And instead of going to London, I went out to the backgammon tournament in the country with all the cows and with Art Benjamin.
Nice. Okay.
And he gave a couple of presentations.
Yeah.
And he's a very good presenter.
Yeah.
One of his presentations was the whole mathemagician thing.
Yeah.
And you can watch it on YouTube. It's so much better just to be there and watch Art do it. Now, he's done it a million times. He does it effortlessly. Go onto YouTube, look for Art Benjamin mathemagician, and watch the 22-minute version or whatever. It's a comedy show, and it blows your mind with what this guy can do with his mind.
Wow.
But he also gave a Pips versus Rolls racing thing.
Yeah.
And I sat there spellbound watching the color slides and all the explanations and the charts and the graphs and watching how passionate Art was about it all. I and the rest of the crowd loved every minute of it and didn't understand a word he said.
I was wondering if people were figuring out how to apply what he learned there. Or
I
not.
didn't. Look,
Yeah.
I've been playing backgammon a long time. I used to be a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
I used to have a pretty quick mind. A lot of my life, I've acted as like a C-3PO unit, a human cyborg relations specialist.
Okay.
I was smart enough to talk to the geniuses and dumb enough to talk to the rest of the world. And it was a great niche in life.
Okay.
And
Looks like
I
they're
felt
coming
like
back to
that
play
with- I
here,
felt
right?
like
So I'm going
that
to
with
switch the
Art
view,
Benjamin.
but keep going.
All right, let's get back to this backgammon.
Okay. My favorite Art Benjamin story, it's not really an Art Benjamin story, but in Monte Carlo last year, I stayed in an Airbnb and saw a French copy of his Mathemagics on the shelf.
Oh,
which was
cool. I like
just by
that.
coincidence.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, you know you've made it win.
Yeah. I liked the slotting play at the trailing score for John Brown. XG slightly prefers split still, but looking for some sort of aggression at a trailing score. 6-3 going to be forced
This
to
play's
slot.
gorgeous, and it's you want to do it anyway, but when you're forced to do it, it sort of takes something out of it. I want to have the nerve to do it when I'm not forced to do it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, good hit.
Imchecks in the chat.
Yeah,
Welcome,
this
man.
this is sort of funny. You don't you kind of want to roll double fours some other time.
Yeah.
You know, it's you don't really want this. It's you don't really want to. You want to do that, but you don't want to do that. And then what do you do with the fourth one?
Yeah, I
Th-
like
this
the.
this is a little this is a funny position.
Yeah, just like you don't have anything that you want to do with the last four, and you don't gain the better board. Trailing score, it's nice to make an board advantage and threaten gammons.
What about making your 4-point with some number of them?
Right. That seems to be the preferred play, to just use all three. But I actually kind of like the split and make it with two.
Well, look at it.
the
Bar
wide
at
open.
21 and then all three in. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd have found that. I might have come in and made the 4 and then done something else.
It doesn't look too like overrun to me, so I think a play like that makes a lot of sense.
This play is very pretty looking.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how effective.
And at a leading score, John would love to just have the anchor, but then what do we do with the 2? Also, can use the 2 to buy time to escape. I don't know what the best way to do it then is. Maybe I would just come around, but it leaves 6s from the bar.
How terrible a play is it to link up and either playing a 2 down or hit?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at here. And at the score, it seems like it might be reasonable and not too far off, actually, to make the 18 and hit there. Pretty bad to leave the direct 6 instead.
Yeah, that may be a little frisky. Making the 8, I'd like to see him look at making the 18 and hit. Certainly at protecting the score lead and having the advanced anchor.
Sure.
That's got to be a reason that contributes to making the 18 and hitting as close a play as it is.
I suppose, running from the back, it looks also a challenge as a stripped midpoint must be a lot of it. That's just where we want to leave the blot after we hit. Or the blots. Yeah, this seems like a pretty reasonable alternative. Just score-based.
I can't blame him. I might well have made that play.
4-3, nice return from the bar for John. Going to hit the 3, not so pretty.
God, I hate doing that.
Yeah,
it may be right, but I just hate it. I mean, I know over the board I would play this 3.
Yeah,
right or wrong. You know.
I think I might be tricked into that too. It looks very stripped and ugly in the outfield, but doesn't look much prettier to put it up on the 6.
Look, John Brown's thinking all the right thoughts. Kudos to him.
Yeah.
Whoever his teacher was taught him well.
Thank you. I think he knew a lot of it when he got to me. 4-6 gets to hop out with he's down in the race. I guess what else are you going to do?
Yeah, you can't sit back there and let him start beating on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which he can do with impunity. Doesn't matter if he gets hit
reduce shots
back.
and challenge a stripped point. And 5-1 gets to make the next point and board the
Now
rack.
John O'Hagan wants to play chicken.
Yep. And this position has a lot of teeth for John Brown. Yeah, it could be a cube incoming if something awkward has to happen for O'Hagan. Has the racing lead somehow here too with the better board and 3 back. So just kind of everything working.
He grabbed that awfully fast.
Yeah, reasonable to keep
I
the
might have just
contact.
played 6-3. I'm not sure there's that big a rush to step up, and that can be annoying.
Yep.
That can be an annoying. Look at this. That
On
can
a
be
roll
an
like a
annoying
5-4?
block to have back there.
That
defender is more powerful than it looked.
Well, I want to know what they're chatting about. I wish we had them mic'd up.
You're probably chatting about us,
Listening to us do commentary out there.
saying what miserable commentators we are or something.
Yeah.
We can't hear them, but they can hear us later on.
Perfect opportunity to run around to the 10-point here. Challenge the The anchor with 2 blots and board. Almost, I can't imagine how John's going to hit this.
What checker play do I want to make no matter where my opponent's pieces are? And this is it. Just run around to the 10-point. Double sixes, stuck on the 18-point, and now starting to overrun the play.
Yeah, he's gonna be slightly ahead in the race after this play.
Boy, look at that mess.
Yeah, it looks better than making the ace, though, and having all these stripped points outside, so I like it.
Well, I'm not sure what choice he had. Yeah.
Right.
It was a close game.
Yeah, just 7 pips ahead for John O'Hagan here.
I mean, John Brown's position looks so much prettier, but it's got. How's he going to win? You know, he's got to win by trapping that checker off the 18 points where he's going to win.
Yeah, looks like an easy plan. We just wait till he runs out of time and leaves a shot.
That's sort of it.
And roll our structure forward while we wait.
And now we just stop rolling and let our opponent roll.
Exactly, if he'll let us, yeah. All right, both of them running out of time very quickly. And
I don't
guess
think you want to get off the 20-point. So, and I don't think you want to break your board. So I guess you just get off and I don't think you want to go all the way to the 1. So this is sort of we'll wait one more turn, but we're going to have to do something next turn.
Yeah.
John O'Hagan can buy a turn.
Mm-hmm. John Brown has kind of weak timing with the midpoint.
Yeah, that's
still
what
in
I'm
place.
saying.
Very interesting, yeah. Even though he has such a big pip deficit, he can't really use it effectively. 4-6 looks like a double falcon to me.
There's the butterfly thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
The double falcon is the name for this one.
I thought they had to be in your home board to be a double falcon or something.
They're both in your home board, and you hop both out.
Oh, I see.
The double tiger is the double
it's the
hidden
other
board.
way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
There you go.
Oh, nice shot.
Yeah.
Now what do we got? Do we have to hit it back? I think we have to hit it back.
4-2-2-2, 4-6, 4 was a
4-1, I think.
Yep.
Flunked with 4-1.
And what is this? Is O'Hagan just immediately too good? Yeah, just by a small margin.
Boy, I would have. I guess John knows these things. I'd have stared at it for a minute or two before deciding it was too good. Now I wouldn't stare at this anymore.
Now that we can't pick up the blot, but we still have 10, 24 pips outside. So if we can close them out, we win a lot of gammons. And we can always just claim when we get there anyway. So
what's 6-2 do for us?
Nothing. Ruins our distribution.
This may force us to cube.
Yeah.
Now, if John Brown dances and you're John O'Hagan, you gotta stop. Oh, look at that! He just ate it in order to keep the flexibility.
Interesting.
Looks
a little
funny,
better
but
to play
might be
6
right.
to 4.
What did XG like, or was it
6
close?
to 4? It liked a little bit better. Yeah, it looks like it wasn't too far off, but it's still rolling here. Still gammons present.
It keeps reaching for some convenient play, and it ends up putting yet another one on the ace point. Put another one on the ace point.
The worse it gets, the more wins there are for John Brown.
Or something here, no? Oh,
5-3
5's a
clears
bad
a lot
place
of-
to come in. Now we got 6-3 and 6-1 leave shots, and what kind of gammon chances do we actually have? Is this done? Is it soup?
Oh, interesting. I would have thought that he would make the point, but plays down to save the gammons. And given that he's on the board now, it's pretty hard
I think it's gotta
to
be
threaten
soup.
much gammoning here. Yeah. All the way down to under 5%.
Yeah. The gammon chances are tiny. Well, they exist, but they're small.
Yeah, being on the board when you have a single checker closed out is huge, just for all the pips that you can circulate around the board. Every 4 pips is probably another 10% gammon saved or something like that.
Now, John O'Hagan can easily lose this game. I mean, his chances of losing are surely higher than his chances of winning a gammon.
Yeah.
Well, there, it says so right there for me to read.
Reasoning it out, though.
Yes.
And I guess he has to convince himself that he doesn't already lose the game enough that John Brown can still take it at 3 away, 7 away, or something like this. But
No, we're not in that.
Yeah.
We're not in that range.
yeah, counting numbers, and he's still going to take a roll. Okay.
Well, good for him. Nice roll.
And there's the shot. Oof.
Oh, there's
Ugly
not
one.
there's
Can't
not a
even
whole
hit.
lot of life after death here either.
Yeah.
He may get 1-2 shot.
3-5 hits.
There you go. Now, is it an inconsequential 5? Do we want to flood the outfield to cover in case 1-6 is rolled? If a 2 gets hit, you can only save 1. I don't know that I'd come in range.
Sure.
I think I'd be protecting against, doing my best to protect against 1-6 or safing a blot, but you got too many blots to clean them all. I think you should come around to the 12 point and guard the 1-6 hopping out, or the chance to build the 7 point or 8 point.
Yeah,
I think he's going to
claim either way if he
12.
fans, right?
I'd play to 12.
So it looks like an offensive play that's just unneeded.
Yeah, this covers 1-6.
Yep.
And that may be the whole swing here. He's covering 1-6. Whoa, look at this. This is very exciting.
2-3 hits.
Yeah, he's got to make a mess. Look, that four prime, it could be a lot bigger than you may think.
And what's going on here?
Paul McGrill.
This is interesting cube action. We have one back. We're threatening to hit a 2. We're going to win a bunch of gammons when we do it. And he misses a giant cube here. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. There's a hidden whopper.
Yep.
There's something to think about.
That's an easy one to pass up. But yeah, with this awful structure too, it must be like you can just crack them next roll.
There's also, literally quoting Paul McGrill from a million years ago, 4 in a row is more than you may think. So even if he danced, John O'Hagan's position can implode if he doesn't roll a 5 or a 6.
This is a tricky 3 here. I'd be very tempted by the second hit as well.
Big time. We're in gammon zone now.
Yeah. XG prefers just hopping up for mobility. Doesn't feel like you need to work on closing out now. And now we're just way too good is part of the issue with it. And 6-4 covers. Nice
there
shot
you go.
For Brown. John Brown.
Double 1s would be annoying. Where's Victor when you need him? Did that to me in a position like this. Grumble, 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 grumble.
2-1 can't get the back checker moving yet.
No,
I usually like slotting the back.
This.
Yep.
Now you get the satisfaction of building a prime, and if John O'Hagan rolls double 1s, you collect the other 13 checkers.
Yeah. It also just attacks on the ace well when he enters with 1.
I might leave that guy back there, by the way. But
oh, interesting.
Maybe,
I was
maybe
looking for mobility.
Maybe double 4s doesn't play.
Gets another fan. And so I think we bring in for
there
another cover.
There
wants to slot it now for more gammons. Interesting. I don't know if you need to do this to win a gammon, but okay.
Man, I mean, even if you're not trying to win a gammon, you do this to close your board fastest. And we'll see if he rolls a 6, does he cover it, or is he going to wait around? I would just try to cover it as fast as possible. So if I roll a 6, I'm covering it. Try to just gammon him on power. You don't really want him anchored on the ace point. It's much, much, much harder to gammon. Right. Unless you can collect the 3rd, 4th, or 5th guy, but you're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think the issue with slotting it is that with a 4-point board, if he hits you once, it might buy him time to roll the other ace. He can fan things like this. So it's better to be attacking with it in general.
Okay, what are our odds, Nick, of winning a gammon?
40% was the original reference I knew with 2 closed out, but it varies all the way up to 50% in certain positions I've seen. So where are we at here? 45 for some reason? Yeah, and I'm not super clear on what the differences are, but...
Yeah, this one's 45.
I guess it's not a speed board is probably a big part of it. And he has gaps around and things like that, too. So even when he enters and comes around, he still has some misses.
Now we get to watch, I think, particularly since John O'Hagan's board is not good in terms of containing. I think he wants to be a little bit piggy here. I'm not sure that counts as piggy. Might actually be right to go to the ace point. You know, it's a strange... Look, it's a photo finish.
Yeah, very close. Yeah.
Change John O'Hagan's board to make it stronger, and that photo finish is going to change.
And that's probably part of why we have 45% gammons is that we get to make plays
well, there's the end of that. Now, can we win the race? This is
no, because he's going to cash.
Yeah, this is all she wrote.
No gammons left here. I guess technically you could take a roll. Probably actually would be some sort of error here, right?
Yeah, too good by 0-0-0.
Right.
I wonder where it rounds that. I guess there's a.
I mean, he could roll double 6s and have a take, right? So I don't know.
Can he?
Interesting.
I'm not sure he can.
Maybe. It looks awful close to me. Marginally too good still. Okay, now it is. Yeah. Maybe all the buried checkers on the ace I'm underestimating, not really thinking too hard. We're going to find out.
John Brown has too many checkers off.
Okay, massive pass still. Yeah. So, yeah, he was right to play too good then. Playing with fire, John Brown, but it worked.
Tortured him.
Getting some PR decisions along the way.
Oh, this is nice. Cool. Now we got double them and backgammon them and go home.
Sounds like a plan. 6 away, 3 away. Similar score effect at this score as last one. 7 away, 3 away, 8 away, 3 away. All play similarly.
So what's our equity at 3 to go, 6 to go?
That I don't know. Just know how you act at it.
Okay, good.
Right. Ace 5 is going to split. And oh, look at that. He's switched off of his slotting with this score lead now. Okay. 5-1. I like to make the 23 point against the made 3 point.
I was about to say,
there.
Kit Woolsey, you always used to grab that 23 point. I used to scratch my head. I never look at this mess. I mean, I just hate the black position, but they say it's right.
The only reason I like it here is when our opponent's made the deep 3 point and is going to have trouble filling in the 5 and the 4. It's just nice to have an anchor. You're not so worried about being primed and more worried about being blitzed, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a miserable position.
All right, hits 2 for lack of options. Ace 2-5 is going to enter 2.
I never felt like the 23 point gave me that much security. Boy, does this position stink. I mean, it really does. I mean, just one extra builder, and I'd cube the boob.
Needs to be aggressive with the cube at a score like this, too. Has him against the deep
Oh,
anchor,
that saves everything. I mean, the difference here is monstrous.
Yeah.
That saves everything. This awkward 4 checkers on the 8 point there. Grabbing the 21 points was a big deal.
I'm definitely making the 5 point and volunteering the shot here, I think. Challenge him to come off his anchor, especially at this kind of score. But I guess making the 9 is reasonable candidate, too. Nice blocking point. The 5 point is a 5 point, though, you know? Hard to pass
5
up.
point is the 5 point, and your opponent already has checkers back in his own 1 point, which means he may be forced to go soon.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost want to let him out, so you can trap him and squash him.
Yeah, and you want your board ready when he tries to go, too.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's close, but I think this in this position, this is more thematically correct, partly because of O'Hagan's dead checkers and bad timing.
Nice find by John Brown. I like that one.
Yeah, so do I.
Not a whole lot that aces can do. Oh, he should actually give it up and just come in spares to the 6. Yeah, why does he want the 7 point when he's got the ace made? I actually like the bot's play there quite a bit. 4 down. Now he's happy to make a blocking point, and sure. What's O'Hagan going to find here? Mutual holding game is going to be hard to find an aggressive cube. Got to wait for John O'Hagan to find a cracking point and leave.
Squash or you got to basically squeeze him out.
Yeah, 3-2 doesn't do a whole lot here. Maybe my instinct would be to clear the 8 and stay safe. Surprised to see coming off the midpoint work so well. The blocking structure is just so important when he's down in the race, I guess.
I think so.
A little bit, yeah. And the ace, if he hits, he's got to give up his outfield control too. So not
a big deal for John Brown. He has a much easier time getting hit and coming back around than John O'Hagan would.
Right.
Because of the 9 point and the much more advanced anchor.
Well, Hagan gets the hit, and John Brown can enter.
This is a good time for John to run if he can, while Junior's on the bar.
Of course. 3-6.
Both, get him out.
Perfect roll to do it with,
This is what you want to do, and you just rolled the dice that let you do it. So
double Falcon time.
Yeah, I would have trouble resisting just making the play, and if I just made a whopper, I could use it in a lecture, so I win either way.
Rumor has it you're going to write a book with that, too?
I'm not allowed to say that.
Oh, okay.
But that's possible.
Not allowed to say that? What does that mean?
Well, I'd be writing the book with some other people, and they don't want to make promises that we can't necessarily keep, and then everybody yells at them.
Can't you say I'm thinking about doing it? And I don't promise.
Yeah, look, I very much would like to write the Hidden Whoppers book with my buddies.
Okay.
Buddies being mysterious, anonymous people that were on the title of the lecture.
Ah, okay.
Roberti and Sankowitz.
Yeah. Okay, John O'Hagan's found this creative switch to the 4 to buy him time to escape here.
Oh, he's chugging along. A fool in his 6 point, but in this case, maybe not.
Plays around and focuses on remaking the 6 point instead of making the mid. I'm surprised that's so big. Looks like fine to me.
What are we doing? When do we start thinking? Should we have doubled? Should we be playing for a gammon? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, at 3 away, 6 away. My most practical advice in the book is never.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Just forget it. Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah. This looks like it's going to be the wrong mix the whole way, though. It's just too many gammons. And as soon as you go down
do we
there,
get off double twos here?
We're just way too good. Sure. Can't be out too much.
Oh, there we go. Now I'm not sure you can afford to attack that thing, and you don't really want to leave it there either.
Yep. I think you can. It's not
Well,
too strong a board, and he has two in the air.
It says you got to do it because leaving it there is dangerous. So there's a bit of an error, at least according to the.
All right.
And there's our 2. Much more exciting this way.
Yeah. So we go straight from too good to not good enough.
No, this is for sure. I mean, and there's a lot of pips there. This is a close game.
Yeah.
What's our analysis? How big a favorite is O'Hagan? I assume it's small.
62-37, but not that many gammons in a 5-2 anchor game like that.
No.
Yeah.
No, this one you get rooted away. 6-5 is the way you get rooted away here.
5-5, not
That'll
so
do
good
it.
either.
That'll do it. That's a mess. Now, when do you have the nerve to double from the back game?
At 6-away, 3-way is when.
Is it
I
going
think
to
this
say
is
double?
reasonable. Look at this. Right
Whoa,
on the borderline.
bingo. See, the
Totally
trick-
reasonable
the-
to send it. He didn't stop to think about it either. Otherwise, maybe he would have. Yeah.
The trick now becomes when are you suddenly too good?
Yeah, only 3 checkers outside. I always underestimate these, but he can crack a lot and leave
Well,
more.
it's not that it's not. You're not going to do it on power here. You're going to be too good because your opponent gets in.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it is still worth claiming. So not too good still, but yeah, it looks like when we close out, of course, if he fans. It's
Well,
not
that was
strong.
fun.
Yeah.
And this is nowhere near takeable.
Misses market by a mile. Would have been nice to keep him in, even if it was a little bit inaccurate.
It all skimmed by so fast. Was the shooting at the double shot time to double?
No, it was like 24 millipoints shy,
really?
so really close.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
practically reasonable to do.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe plus has a different idea about it, but it looks very reasonable to think about it. You know,
Yeah, well, certainly think about it. There's
not at a normal score, but at this match
Yeah,
score where you're never
well,
getting a recube and you don't have to deal with you reduce their gammon price. All the things are working in your favor.
So what are we now? 2-0 to 5, the equivalent?
5-away, 3-way is what I call
yeah.
that. Yep.
I think it that way all the time, and I
Yeah.
say it the wrong way all the time.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
some kind of weird thing.
I can't even think it in any other way.
Well,
Like,
good
when
for
people
you.
tell me regular scores, I'm just like,
No,
what do you,
good for
what do
you.
you mean?
Good for you. I mean, this goes back to the dark ages, but Paul McGreal was the first telling me way back when. No. What's the score, Kent? 2-0 to 5. No, Kent. What's the score? And he's trying to beat into my head.
This is a very
Don't
interesting
even
spot
say
here.
it the wrong way. Oh, okay. What's going on?
I really would like to just make the 5-point here, even though it leaves a double shot against a better board, but just plays down and quiet instead. Needs to split if he's going to play quiet and gets hit as a result. But yeah, it's like so common that it's still worth doing just to improve your distribution, even when you leave a double shot against a 3-point board in a position like this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
5-point.
was distracted.
Oh, you're good.
Those are good positions.
Yeah. What do we want to clean up here? I guess we can split with the 3 and clean up 15 to 13. It makes a stack. Maybe not. I don't want the 23 here, but I guess the 9 to 6 cleanup is nicer.
Yeah, boy, oh boy,
difficult.
this is. You got the bigger home board. I
Yeah.
guess it's right, but I'd be rather than thinking how do I clean up the mess, I would say how do I utilize the mess.
Yeah.
What links the checkers together best, what controls the board a little better, but maybe just.
Oh, this is a weird one. Of
Button
course,
them
you
all
want to
just
hit
right.
with the 3, but you don't have any 5 after you do it when you're so outboarded. So you should just play around to the 9.
Oh, I like that. Now, what that's doing is taking advantage of that very awkward steel post in the 23 point. That's nice defensive late in the game. It's horrible offensive early in the game.
Yeah,
You just don't want that point.
Right.
I mean, that's why that's part of the game that sometimes confuses me. I see players sometimes make that point, and my first instinct is, okay, now my next roll, can I get off of it? It's sort of like
Right.
a mini butterfly anchor.
Sure.
Make the 23 point and then split off of it immediately.
There must be all the anchors work that way. Every pip higher they get, I guess you get X amount of rolls more before you want to leave it.
Look,
That's what
I
mean.
like this. At least he didn't split the back anchor, but at least he left the blot on the 15 point.
Yeah, okay.
Position
For
1
contact.
in this afternoon's lecture.
Oh, nice. Makes the 5-point huge improvement for John Brown. What can John?
Well,
Aces
he can roll
fixes
that.
everything.
And he stops and realizes he can do some offensive stuff. But
Yeah,
I think
but-
this is just particularly when you're leading. This is just too big a deal.
Formerly primed, now basically not. Freezing 2 checkers. It's just very powerful.
No, that
to be
might
up to the
swing him
edge.
from being an underdog to the favorite in one roll.
I'm with you.
Well, it's a very, very close game.
3-5, I think, has to hit here, but he
Oh, of
wants
course.
under some pressure to split and have an advanced anchor of his own.
No.
And John
Yeah, just
O'Hagan,
button them all up en route to other places.
yeah, 3 behind the prime. That's a little bit of a liability. John Brown just really needs to get moving. I think after splitting to the 23, do we want to step into it under the gun, or are we happy to be in a minor split?
It might even be what you want to do is split with the ace and not play the deuce, but it
Yeah.
might be right to split with the ace and play 5 to 3.
Oh, but he doesn't split at all, and that's going to run him out of timing a little too fast. Risks like more checkers coming into the zone and making it more difficult to do later.
Did XG split? I'll bet it did.
Yeah, 24 to 23 was way. And so, yeah, I mean, he continues to be under pressure. Maybe he'll find it this way for lack of options with the 6.
And
But
by
he's
the
just-
way, he just reached the right direction. The
Yeah.
split here is all the way out, not part way out. It's sort of
Right.
counterintuitive.
Yeah. It looks like less shots out there, but also where else are we going to play a 6?
You also get to make your 3-point when you split.
Yeah.
So everything pushes him. Everything pushes him out. I'm not even sure what play B is.
Right. Probably clearing the 8 or something like this.
This is a nice play to find when you're not forced into it, because
Yeah.
these are often stuff like this is often overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
Yeah.
Dropped a hammer on his head.
Yeah, it does it all. Which way does it do it all? I guess the 5 prime way, I would think.
I think so. And then you start thinking about how
Yeah.
close are we to too good.
Yeah, this is the problem with caring about PRs. Like, boy, is this difficult when I get all these good decisions. I got to pick the best way to crush my opponent.
That's why you don't care about PRs.
You leave a lot on the table if you don't find the right play here, though. That's the truth of it.
I want to see what the gammon looks like after John Brown rolls. Particularly if he dances.
It's quite high. If we make the ace, it's a little bit higher. Maybe that's actually a candidate at normal scores, but still looks to be better.
What if you reverse the score where they're sweeping both is right?
Yeah, I think we could probably make a score scenario where it would be like 4-way, 2-way, or pure gammon go.
Right.
But I think it's got to be pretty close to that looking at the numbers there.
Oh, this tells us how bad sweeping is.
It tells us the little numbers show the wins, the gammons.
Yeah,
each
I
way.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big error to bop them both.
Do you work with XG a lot on your own? Do you play against it?
I don't play against it, but I analyze everything with it.
Okay.
And then when I analyze, I tweak.
Yeah.
You know, I say, okay, this is right here now. Is this the exception or is this the rule?
Right.
Move a pip here, move a pip there, and try
Yeah.
to make. What I'm basically doing is recreating when we used to roll everything out by hand. 'Cause
Yeah.
as you roll things out by hand,
Yep.
you're being forced to learn what's happening. You see the
Yeah.
inside of the sausage being made,
Right.
and you don't just get the answer; you get an education.
Well, very interesting. Decides he wants to make it for sure. This is
A little
candidate
peach
that
and
I
a little
didn't look
vanilla.
at.
I didn't look at this one.
And very, it just feels like O'Hagan kind of off his game, overplaying quite a bit in here, you know? And is John Brown going to pause to think about it, or is he just having a chat with Karen Davis here?
He must be just having a chat or something.
Yeah, 2 on the roof is not going to be enough to cube.
No. I didn't even look at that play.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Not too far off, I guess. Maybe at other scores it would be closer.
Well,
2
he's
enters, 5's going to try
in for
again.
a penny, in for a pounding. But now,
Oh, look at this. He's actually supposed to just hop out. It's better. He's just out of mobility.
yeah, I was about to say one more hit by John Brown, and he might actually become a favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of nifty.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of a draw play, but you better roll another 2 soon.
Yeah. John Brown playing a really strong game here, too. Happens to be. I hate saying outplaying. I don't actually believe in that.
No,
6s covers and hops out.
but he left somebody behind.
Yeah.
Hey, wait for me, Daddy. Home alone.
Plenty of time to extricate that one, I think. 5-4 probably brings another attacker in. Oh, and somehow John O'Hagan misses a cube here? That's surprising to me. Would not have thought this was the kind of mix where we wanted to send a 3-way 5-way.
No, I wouldn't have thought about it very long either.
Yeah.
This could go sour. You have a lot of time to roll your 2 and get out, but less now.
Yeah. Ian asking if John Brown's doing a BMAB submission. I don't know if he does those applications, but I know he's got all his matches getting recorded. So 4-2 gets the step up. Okay, he's in great shape now and misses another cube. So yeah, with 68% wins and 43% gammons, he's supposed to double and get taken last roll. Same story here. Actually, about a 63 pass now. And the 2 steps up, 4 comes in. Those are hard to find.
Now let's see what's happening. I need a 2. Ugh.
Yeah, and I feel like he's going to cruise to 2 good very easily.
Yeah, I was about to say, we may have already crossed that threshold.
And it's kind of easy to assume that you're either going to be too good or not good enough at these scores. So I don't fault John for playing past that.
Yeah, you can have it both ways. So just keep playing.
4 or 5 misses. Just needs an anchor. And then O'Hagan can claim. Are we bold enough to hit loose here?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't, but it's probably right.
Yeah.
It's
just worth so much in gammons, you know.
Oh yeah, it's right. The only question is, how do you play the other half of your roll? You hit with a 3, and then what else do you do? Well, now he doesn't have a problem. He can't hit loose, even with all these builders and checkers. Pig. That's it.
Oh, you'd like to peel, huh? Yeah.
Oh.
I think XG, yeah, that looks right. 3-6 can't anchor. Let's see if he can work on the closeout to win that gammon. 3-1 could pick and pass and buy a little time that way. That looks kind of nice.
It does, but it's also a little, I guess you do.
Yeah.
You're buying some time.
Yeah.
You're not getting any checkers off.
Big gammon difference, almost 9% there. 8%. Apparently,
he's thinking about the pre-clear.
Yeah.
I suspect the pre-clear is wrong, but he's thinking about it.
Looks pretty reasonable here.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Well,
yeah.
Once you think about it, you sort of have to do it, but it's close.
Sure.
It's very close.
Somehow it doesn't win more gammons as these kinds of clear plays tend to be.
Sometimes the double plus will swing that back in the way you want it to go.
Yeah, I feel like actually my experience with the bear off is that XG's like even at the lower plies is just really good at calculating these. So I rarely see it swing at all.
Even in these.
I think so. Yeah, I think I tend to see it kind of settle on the plays.
Well,
and stick with it.
There's some funny back game positions where
back games for sure.
It gets the side bearing off.
Yeah.
Way wrong.
Yeah. Very.
If I was allowed a 2-hour lecture, we'd have gotten to 1 or 2 of them. they were in the queue.
Yeah.
I've got one in there where, 3-ply shows, a whopper one way, and 2-ply shows it's close, and a rollout shows it's the other way.
Yep. Seen plenty of those.
What have we done? I've been distracted. How's our? Well, there goes leaving a shot. So now it's just a sprint to home, and looks like John O'Hagan's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, John Brown anchored a little bit too late. 4 crossovers looks strong here.
Oh,
Ooh,
4 crossovers look strong there
up.
too. Even if it takes 4 rolls to get off, John Brown's got to get off in 3, and he's not going to do that.
Bob asks if we remember John Brown winning the Big 3 in 2017. I don't know what that is. I don't remember that
either.
What did O'Hagan do here? Took 1 off somehow, like a 3-1?
Must have been.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Double 5. Does he have a
go.
chance? Yeah, he's got a chance.
Yeah, 18%.
He's got a chance.
And finds another miss. Okay.
We need a big doubles.
No more misses available, so it's irrelevant. Okay.
Oh.
And many doubles are going to work. 2s don't quite.
Yeah, and there's nothing he can do about it. He's got to bring them all in. So
right.
4s do. He's got 4. He's got 4s covered by coming in.
Needs a chance, and then he gets 3s or better.
Yeah, 3s are better. Here we go. I want to do 4s. Yeah. Oh, almost.
Gonna resign the gammon, and on we'll go to the Crawford game, 5 away, 1 away. When we're an odd score away, the gammon doesn't really matter. And so it'll be basically a DMP game, unless we can get where backgammons are relevant. And then we can play for those. Yeah,
so I think all the wimpy splitty plays come in the opening roll.
Yeah.
Throw the slots out. And do
6-4
the
likes to
splits.
just run actually at this kind of
Yeah,
DMP
I
stuff,
did. This
but yeah.
just I got so much burned in my DNA not to make this ugly looking play, even if it's functionally equivalent in some ways.
Yeah, very close. Board points are stronger than they seem, huh?
I guess that must be the answer, because otherwise it's a poop play.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, John O'Hagan's just rolling a lot of pips and building a prime.
Yeah, both at the same time is pretty good.
Yeah.
6-3 gets to make another deep point. John's still on the attacking game plan, well, even in the race. Tough to make that work. 4-6. It doesn't even need to run. It can just make the deuce, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty.
Look at that.
It's
It is better to run
right,
at
close,
like DMP,
close-ish,
though.
but right,
Yeah.
right to run.
Very interesting. I would not have thought of that.
Well, this one, what can he do? He can't really play it forward. So it looks, unless there's some trick play, that seems like the only real option.
6-2. John's happy to sit on his position, get ready to attack back on the ace.
Well, by the way, look, it's not so far off to split with a 6 there. People don't look at that. That was very close.
Very interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of it there.
No, that's that's.
Oh, look at this. He quickly makes the 11, and that is a very strong play. The 4 looks very strong to me, though. Just making a board point, and he almost equalizes the priming structure in front. And John, now with too much of a racing lead, is just ready to pop out. Gets that one right. Anything from the back
This
checkers
is a very
is
close
good.
game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which side I want. I would have wanted John O'Hagan's for a long time. This has gotten close.
This is going to be slightly down in the race. So what does John Brown want to do with his 6-2 here? I don't see any good options. I guess just running for lack.
Boy,
but it comes out to a double shot.
Yeah, but you're under a double shot if you stay put, and if you stay put, how do you play? So you cannot play safe.
Yeah, the only other thing I'm trying to find an alternative.
There's no safe play. I mean, did you unstack the 8 point and play 8 to 6, 8 to 2? There's anything else is leaving direct shots.
Sure.
And that's a pretty destructive play.
Yeah.
So you're sort of forced into leaving something. So once you're out with a 6, do you have to keep going? Probably, because you're closer to home. This, if you're going to play safe, that's it. But good boy, John Brown. It just, as Malcolm Davis would say, my boy, that just hurts my eyes. It's just such an ugly play.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he has to live with this, as crazy as it looks.
It is a double shot, but when it's missed, we're doing pretty well.
Right. There was some weird complex position, which I was looking at with Victor a tournament or two back, and he just said, I think me and Chris Trencher were advocating one play, and Victor said, you guys are just wrong. This may look funny. This may look funny, but if you get away with it, it's way easier to bring home.
Yeah.
And we looked it up, and big surprise, Victor was right.
Tends to be. All right, doesn't get away with it.
Well,
Can John hit back from the roof,
got some
though?
repops.
Yep, and
Wrong 8.
John O'Hagan still has to escape his back checker, too. Oh, 2-1 is a huge step, though, filling in the 4 point.
We're the fat lady is warming up.
Things are getting grim. That's frustrating to show up and play a really strong match and compete your best with John O'Hagan and just still not be able to figure it out, you know?
I would have liked a better a little bit. Well, we had a good Crawford game up until he got hit and then didn't get back in again. And that was it. Still some small chance of a miracle, but we're in trouble.
Yeah, I shouldn't write him off yet. Many ace miracles.
Whoa! There's the beginnings of a miracle.
Well, I think we have to switch here, right?
Yeah, I was about to
buy
say.
some time.
You certainly want to hit, and then the question. Good. These two things you have to do, and now what?
Wow. Okay.
Is there some reason that Nifty Shifty is better or worse or?
I would have thought so, but I guess it's too impure long term, and we have the 11 guarding it.
Do you push the 11 up to the 10 point? Do you just bring the builder into the?
The 11 to 10, I think, interacts better with the blot on the 5 right now too well. So making the bar point also when he enters on the ace is priming.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Catch him when he gets on the ace.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. How many do we have left?
2.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, it feels like too long of a game. I mean, when he enters on the 5, we're in big trouble anyway.
No, I think
maybe we can anchor if he enters on the 5 and hits us too.
Yeah, I mean, in some variations, you're way better off getting hit.
Yeah.
That lone back checker doesn't do real well defending against the formations that's in front of it.
Easier to make these plays at DMP like this, too. I mean, you might lose like a mountain more gammons playing pier like this, but just clearly worth it when you don't care about gammons.
Right. Another way to talk about this is you're looking for a play to win, not a play to avoid losing.
Yes.
This nasty looking miserable play is you're worried about losing, so you're trying to avoid losing. That's a bad strategy. Try to win, don't try to avoid losing. There's all kinds of positions where that creeps in. The previous running out with the 6-2er, that's a play to win as opposed to trying to avoid losing.
Yeah. Looks like
This
he's
play
leaning
is
towards
clearly this is clearly a play to win play. You know, if 25% of the time black dances and you're like almost a favorite all of a sudden.
Yeah. How far off is this?
I look and see. I can't believe it's all that close.
123. Saves probably
Yeah.
20% gammons is why he's leaning towards it. Looks like he's going the right way,
Well,
though.
there's no gammons.
Sure.
You know, it's done.
Finds the best play.
The
Very
reason
well
that it
done.
might be playable is all those blots that you actually might be able to
Yeah.
get away with just rolling a 6 next turn and scooping up all the blots and then,
Yeah.
and then coming home even though you've made a mess.
Beautiful return for John O'Hagan, and John Brown desperately needing an ace to have a 24-point game to save him.
Right, he might wait 1 or 2 rolls to keep his timing. I mean, here in a weird way, having that extra checker hit might be a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, if he can catch an ace soon, and he can win the game.
Immediately. It looks like the double shot's going to be enough to attack. Going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, for sure he's going to attack. And John Brown's board is too porous, so O'Hagan can afford. We need a series of aces.
One more set of aces. 6-4 misses, and John, you're a favorite to close it. I guess 50-50 because 4's hit.
Oh, yeah,
cover too, right?
4's got it.
Yeah. All right, closes, and it's hard to find the cracking numbers now.
Well, no cracking numbers now. They're done now. It's good to have 3 on the bar because at least we can wait a little bit. Maybe get a second shot, or get a shot at the 4-point. I don't think we have enough up there to get a shot at the 3-point, but maybe.
A little bit awkward distribution to root for here. Shot levers on
6, 5, 6s and 5s. We got
Yep.
4 numbers. Leave a shot right now.
Yep. Aces is going to solve a lot of that.
Let him in.
Yep. Exactly.
You got to remember what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm,
You get caught up in the moment, and you make some safe gammony play, and it could be costing you.
Yeah, and John Brown's had to enter with that 6 there. 6-4. I think we play even in off the
for sure.
outside. Yep. 2 off is usually a pretty flexible structure anyway, but here just maximum long-term safety is what we're looking for.
Yeah, and John Brown wants to stand the bar as long as possible, even if it means hitting the 15th checker on the ace point.
Looks like he's going to get out of this 9-point match with like a 4 PR too. He'll be happy with that part anyway. Probably prefers to win.
John O'Hagan will take the match home and burn it.
Yep.
He's not going to like a 6.
That's the top of his range, yeah. 2-1 fans, and we have some shots now. Big sets.
Yeah, 3s and bigger. Oops.
Oh, aces
1,
fixes
2,
everything again.
3, 4. That's good. Notice he quickly guarded against leaving a shot on the 2-point.
Yep.
And that's the end of that. Well, that was
All
fun.
right.
That was fun. Thank you.
And so finalist number 1 in the undefeated bracket is going to be John O'Hagan. And John Brown is still going to have a run in the fighters bracket tomorrow. So more back end to play.
We may get a rematch.
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen, right? I've never seen it happen somehow. No, I have seen it happen. Haven't
I must have.
I can't remember. The most recent thing I remember, I don't think I saw a rematch, but I remember seeing someone make the undefeated finals and then make it back to the finals. I thought,
Okay.
Wait, that would be a rematch.
Sounds like it.
Made it back to the fighters finals.
Sometimes you see people play in the winners semifinals that then reconnect again a few rounds later.
Yeah.
You can keep tripping over the same people. You do not want to keep tripping over John O'Hagan.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be our last match for the night. We can go grab him and see if any of the other one wants to talk about. But thanks about the match at all. But thanks a ton for helping me out, KG.
Oh, I enjoyed immensely. Thank you. Thanks everybody for listening.
And congrats on a successful lecture, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, you can hit the power on that. And yeah, I'm going to walk out into the room and see if anyone wants to come in with me, and we might be back with an interview. Otherwise, I'm going to come back and close down for the night.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, John Brown wants to know how he ended up playing. I've got good news for him. Here, you can have this. All right. Yeah, and we got the screen up there. I got John Brown, the loser of that match, man. Sorry, tough luck. But when we look at the summary, you played just over 4. I think you'll be pretty happy with that result, right?
That's great.
So I'm sorry to see you lose the match, but as the teacher, I'm kind of okay with this.
You're looking pretty good.
Right,
I'm
right.
paying attention well to my
Yeah.
lessons, and
Yeah.
it was an honor getting to meet and play John. And,
Sure.
I'm just thrilled to be here. It's a lot of fun. I got to meet in person a lot of people. I've only played virtually.
Yeah.
You're as cool in person as you are on YouTube. So what's not to like? I'm a happy
Right, man.
loser right now.
Can you think of any plays you had questions about or anything like that?
I just, when you play someone like John, before you know it, the game's over with. I've learned that. I aspire to be like that one day.
Yeah.
I'm just the victim of the Masters this time. I wish we'd had a little more contact, some more interesting games, but it just wasn't in the dice this time for us. And I got behind early in a lot of games. I just couldn't, I had to turn down a lot of doubles. But we had a lot of fun talking about Kentucky and Indiana, and
okay.
And I really am. I'm pleased. That's
And you won the PR.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to explain to my wife what PR is to impress her, but it impresses me. So.
Well, congrats on a well-played match. I thought the
Thank
most
you.
interesting one to me, maybe
Near
it was
the
in this
end,
game.
That double ones at the end.
No, I'm trying to remember which game your 5-2 back game, what score was that? Maybe it was right here. You had some interesting, So this was a really fun score cube that you didn't pause to think about.
I did. Where I almost doubled here.
Yeah.
I thought of you,
Yeah.
and I thought of you saying, "Are you looking for the double?" And I did, and I chickened out, and I regretted it. So. Knowing what to do and actually doing it are two very different things. But I knew to think about it.
Yeah.
And I knew that you were in my head there, Nick. And I did. I just thought if I don't get in, all he has to do is roll a 5, and then I got all these blots. The blot scared me. Was it a double? Was that a double?
It was a huge one, too. This was your biggest mistake of the match and one that many players are going to make anyway.
Yeah.
But it's funny the way you describe it because all you have to do is like fan. Then he comes out with a 5 and somehow finds the only ace to cover, and then you don't enter with the 5. And there's a couple ands in there.
Yeah.
For John Hagen
Right.
to turn this one around, right? So,
No, I'm proud that I actually thought about it. And like I said, I could hear your voice saying, push yourself to think. So that's progress.
Awesome, man.
Just not there yet. So thank you, Nick.
Yeah, thank you, John Brown.
Yeah.
Let's,
Great teacher. You should contact Nick if you want to improve your game and have fun improving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Well, let's get any plays you were curious about John O'Hagan, or what do you want to say about the match?
Well,
We
I
have one more tonight. I don't know if you know that.
couldn't get myself to turn the cube a few times when I should have. And,
How'd you figure that out? Did you just you saw the PR summary there?
No,
Can't remember?
I see it now. And
Okay.
but during the match, I was thinking, there was one game where I think it was 4-0 or 5-0, and I didn't double, and it was pretty stupid,
Okay.
And then I was that one game where I played on for the G, and I rolled a 6-3, and he hit. That was questionable because I don't win that many Gs, and 6-1, 6-3, leave shots, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you navigated that one reasonably well.
Okay.
I can't remember if that was I can't remember which game it was. Those are kind of smaller. But there were some where we missed. I guess, is this maybe the one you were thinking about at 4-0? Where you have the single checker back and primed?
No.
No?
Oh, let's see. I'm which color?
You're
am
black. You're the checkers on top.
Yeah. I think I should have doubled this. Yeah, and obviously I should have.
Yeah, I had the
and
raise,
even
thank
a
you.
couple of rolls earlier too. It seemed. I don't know why. I just had a bad match, I guess.
I presume you were protecting the score. I don't know. We all have our worst matches. I think when we're ahead and kind of get complicated decisions that way.
Happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But.
And then we
Anyway.
do cash when we're too good. After year two.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to find.
Yeah.
But I remember I can't remember which game it was, but there was one where you like way down in the race and broke contact with the double twos. And I just had this sense that maybe you had the race miscounted.
No, I just thought having control of the outfield was more important. Now, maybe I was wrong, but that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it was. Do you remember what the score was in that one?
I do not.
Yeah, I can't remember what score that was at either. I got to figure out some way to flag these or something or take notes on them. But I'm happy to scan through for anything else you want to look at there, too. I feel like there were a couple plays in that one, though, too. Like, I think, those were some of the big ones. I can't think of anything else too far off, but yeah, otherwise I think kind of like whatever mistakes you had seemed more typical where you just play bold sometimes and make big attacking plays and kind of put a lot of the game on the line, which is like stylistically works out for you and you know how to play it after you make those kinds of plays, right?
In the game when it was 3-away, 5-away, I rolled 6-6.
Yeah.
Was that right to hit loose on the ace or not?
The simple play was right. Just make the 5 prime, I think, on that one. Yeah, I remember this play. Yeah. And I don't know if this mix it must be closer at other scores, but I think it's still favored unless you're at like Gammon Go or something like that. Any other play seemed like it wins more gammons, but not enough to compensate the wins.
Yeah, there's just not enough extra gammons to make up for the extra losses. Yeah, and his position's strong enough that I can't just You probably win a lot of gammons when you make a 5 prime and have one on the roof against a 4-point board too, right? So how much more can you win? You know? Right.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway.
Yeah.
So long day of backgammon.
Yeah. Are you feeling it at the end of the day? I mean, these are okay.
Yeah.
Well navigated. You made it into the undefeated finals anyway, which I imagine we're going to play tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And I don't think we know who it is yet. I saw Chris Trencher was waiting for the winner of Roberto Litzenberger and I'm forgetting his name now. I know it. Jason Lee. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Jay something.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Yep. So maybe some watching for that, but I'm sure we'll see more of you on stream then, and I hope you get a good night's rest. And we'll
do.
Yeah,
we'll do.
Rooting for you tomorrow. All right. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Nick. Okay.
Thanks, both Johns. It was very nice to do commentary for one match where I could say, okay, John's got to decide what to do here, and John's going to do this, and not confusing at all. So.
Sorry to confuse you, but it was a lot of fun and encourage people to come to the next in-person tournament.
John Brown wants you to come out to the next tournament, y'all. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to go work with my buddy Jason from Blunderblots to make a cool recap of all the action today and prep us for tomorrow. Hey, Simone, thanks for joining late here. And, we'll have hopefully the most exciting recaps and coverage of the whole week tomorrow. So rest up with me. Come back at 10 a.m. Eastern time for continuing action. And thanks so much for joining me all evening, everybody. I'm going to play you out for now.